want to be the FIA World Rallycross champion, you will need to be able to control a 600 horsepower, 2-litre turbocharged bespoke racing machine. Be able to focus for over 138 races against world-class drivers who want to destroy you. Then you can be the champion. Welcome to round one of the 2015 FIA World Rallycross Championship. This year the series moves across 4 continents, featuring brand new tracks in Hockenheim and Barcelona, while round one sees us return to the Villarreal district in northern Portugal for the season opener. Last season saw Peter Solberg crowned the first ever World Rallycross champion. We'll have a look back at that fantastic season later, but first let's check out who's where and driving what for this year. For 2015, the paddock is full of world-class driving talent in the Supercar class. 8 teams featuring 6 different manufacturers will battle it out over the season in the Teams Championship. 2 drivers from each team can gain points at each event, and if last season is anything to go by, it will likely go down to the wire. 18 permanent drivers will be looking to lift the FIA World Rallycross Drivers' Championship. Peter Solberg will be most people's favourite for the season. The Norwegian sticks with the Citroën DS3, now in the SD-RX outfit. New teammate Liam Doran suffered a torrid and frustrating season last year, but the Brit has real pace and a fearsome reputation, and it could be the season for the 28-year-old to make everybody take note. Topi Heikkinen finished second in the Drivers' Championship last season and will be looking to go one better this time round.
Absolutely, the main goal is to win the championship, and I'm having a really good teammate with me, really good team behind me, and I'm really proud of that.
Swede PG Anderson was a wild card last year. He's undoubtedly skilled, but he's unproven in World RX. Volkswagen Team Sweden alongside Markland are running the VW Polo. Johan Kristoffersson and teammate Tord Linnerud will want to be the top VW drivers, a tough challenge indeed. Team Peugeot Hansen started slow in 2014 and gathered real momentum towards the back end of the season.
I feel like we have done everything that we could over the winter. Peugeot has put in a huge amount of work onto this new car, and I have worked harder than ever on my driving side, so I feel really well prepared.
Joining him this year is Davy Genet, who should be even quicker now he's in a factory machine. Andreas Backerud is always excited to watch in the Ford Olsberg's MSE Fiesta and now has a more mature head on young shoulders.
Well, last year, first of all, I had some terrible starts. Some really good ones, but some really bad ones too. So I need to get more stable on that. I need to focus more on not being on 125% all the time.
Reinis Nitish has stayed with the team for a second season too. Solberg rates the 20-year-old Latvian as a threat, a glowing endorsement from the champion. Matthias Ekström dipped in and out of driving for his own team in 2014, but he left his mark on the championship, winning his home event in Sweden with the first ever perfect score and providing the finish of the year against Petter in Germany. He's a class act who will always be in the mix. Anton Markland has never quite made the top step of the podium, but learning from Ekström could be the missing piece of the puzzle. New to RX are the all-Inkel Munich motorsport team, but featuring a familiar name in Rennie Munich. Teammate Alex Danielsson is an experienced racer, but new to Rallycross. World RX Team Austria is another new team in the championship. The Austrians Manfred Stoll and founder Max J. Puscher will be looking to hear their national anthem played this season. Competing as a solo entry in the Drivers' Championship only, the 2014 European Rallycross champion Robin Larsson is a real talent. With 2 podiums to his name last season, the young Swede has the skill to make an impact in 2015. It's fair to say 2-time European champion Timur Timosyanov underperformed last year in the Peugeot. Like Larsson, he is competing in the Drivers' World Championship only, but working out of the Ford OMSE stable and hooking up with former team boss Jussi Pinnamäki. It could be a formula that works for the Russian and sees him back on top for 2015. Coming up, we've got a review of Heats 1 and 2. The action from Heat 3. We catch up with the current champion Petter Solberg. On to the last chance saloon in Heat 4. And then it's live Supercar semi-finals, the live RX Lights final, and the live Supercar final. Here's the track preview presented by Ion Cameras. The Portuguese track is 1,150 metres in length, including the Joker lap. The surface split is 60% asphalt, 40% dirt. We're going to ride on board with the current world champion and the winner last year here in Portugal, Petter Solberg in the DS3. Down that very long straight, it's actually downhill towards the braking zone. On the right-hand side there, you can see the standard lap, Petter taking the Joker lap. A little nip on the handbrake, very slippery conditions here in Portugal this year. And it's on the gas, uphill, around the left and then the right, and then into the tight stuff. This one falls away downhill, it's hard to see on the telly, into a compression, up and over the crest, and onto the big curves on the inside of the track, over the dirt, round to the right. This is where Petter Solberg really excelled last year. Got the car turned in, he gets all four wheels straight, and then it's just a blast on the gas and up through the gears, through a very narrow section and back over the start-finish line. Solberg makes it look easy, but you've got to do that all weekend. After nearly 2 days of relentless rain, the Supercar drivers were finally ready to start their championship campaign. Atrocious conditions for 2015 to kick off in, but for world champion Petter Solberg it was business as usual. He put on a demonstration in flamboyant car control to take the first heat race win of the year. Behind him, Robin Larsson just slotted out in front of Timo Timosjanov to steal second place at the Joker lap exit. The first corner saw plenty of action. Matthias Ekström was hit from behind by Manfred Stoll, but the EKS RX driver recovered well to get back in front of the wounded World RX Team Austria Fiesta. David Genet was left clear out front and looked on target to take a win on his debut for Peugeot Hansen, but he misjudged the brakes at the end of the straight and was lucky to get the 208 out of the gravel track. In the end, it was Andreas Backrud who took the win in front of Timmy Hansen, taking what would turn out to be the fastest time overall in Heat 1. Finnish driver Topi Heikkinen was runner-up in the World Championship last year and was immediately back on the pace, but his former teammate Anton Markus didn't fare so well. The EKS RX driver ended Heat 1 on his route.
Was entering this corner about 10-15 k's too fast. Got sideways and I hit the gravel approximately 60 k's an hour, and immediately I touched two wheels into the gravel. It just flipped the car.
The chance for redemption in Heat 2 came around quickly. Unfortunately for Martin, he fared little better and retired with a mechanical issue. Doran took the win, but the time was average thanks to damage inflicted on his DS3. The two VW Team Sweden drivers had vastly differing outcomes in their race. While Linnerud went off-roading, Kristoffersson took the win from Davy Genet. The final heat race of the day saw the Turn 1 gravel track claim yet another victim. Robin Larsson spun off into the gravel and couldn't get his stricken Audi back on track. Norwegian stars Andreas Backrud and Petter Solberg had a fierce battle throughout the race. It was Solberg who took the victory in the end, but it's Backrud who tops the standings overnight.
It is really tricky. I mean, the weather condition is not making it easy for us. It's 600 brake horsepower. It's so powerful, and you need to be so clever when you're driving and so smooth. I've been lucky today, avoiding everything. I tried to push hard and not over the limit.
Here's how they stand after Heat 2. Andreas Backrud tops the table, fellow Norwegian Petter Solberg is second, Timmy Hansen third, and a great debut this season for PG Anderson in fourth. Nittish is all the way down in ninth, Doran in 12th, but there are plenty who had a worse day than him.
Well, the best placed of the new teams after Heat 2 is Volkswagen Team Sweden. This is the number 99 car of Tord Linnerud. I think this is him over here. Hello, Tord. So talk us through Heats 1 and 2 here in Portugal. How was it for you?
Oh, the first heat had a very bad start. It nearly stopped and went straight into the joke lap, and I was braking a little bit too late, so Timber went past me, and I had to go as fast as I could very bad training as well, so I didn't get any good laps on training. So that was, for my sake, a bit of a training.
And then a little bit of a spin in Heat 2 as well.
Yeah, I probably had too much brakes in the rear. So when I went into the corner in the first lap as well, and the car just went sideways, and the same happened in lap 2. So too much brake in the rear, and I spun.
But the car looks quick, and you're well placed to make up some places in Heat 3 and 4, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I need to have a good start and get a good rhythm, and yeah, I will see.
Thanks very much. Now we'll dive into the back, see if we can find Johan Kristoffersson, who's very impressive. Tord is currently 16th overall, and I think Johan is in 7th. Let's see if he's working hard back here. Yep, he seems to be. Hey, Johan, so well done in Heats 1 and 2. Talk us through how it was.
Heat 1 was start good. I had a very good start. Nice fight with Nittis in the first corner. I was able to get in front. And then unfortunately I had a puncture on the second lap. But I was fighting all the way to the end with a puncture and tried to get as good time as possible. But I ended up in 14th, so I had a tough start position in line 4 and for second heat. But I had the perfect start from this guy here. So I took the start, and from there I tried to go smooth without any risk too much for the puncture, and had a third time overall, which was good. Brought me for the 7th position overall.
And how good is it on day 1 of the new championship to get a race win underway?
Yeah, fantastic, sure. Definitely very good, and I'm really looking forward.
And finally, just one word, what will it take to win in Heat 3?
Good start and fight. That's 2 words.
Good luck in Heat 3.
Thank you.
As Heat 3 got underway, the weather was changing yet again. We had a wet warm-up and then it dry. You could see the blue sky. The track was dry, but the rain was starting to fall. Larson got a fantastic start. From that point, he never looked back. He took the heat race win in his Audi. The next heat race was all about Tord Linnerud making amends for a disaster of a day yesterday. A few minutes off-roading here and there. In the 99 VW Sweden car, he took a clear win. Heat 3, race 3. This is our first full grid of Heat 3. Rainis Nitish on the inside, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg alongside him, Manfred Stoll in the middle. We have Mario Barbosa, who is in Sebastian Loeb's old Citroen DS3, and Rennie Munich on the outside. There is Munich. Now in the FIA World Rallycross Championship, up against some decent drivers in this one. Great start from Nitish on the inside. Stoll's got a good run as well. Stoll looks like he's trying to close the door on the French driver. Is he going to go around the outside? And indeed, Dubourg says, I'm not having that. He's gone straight to the Joker lap.
Stoll's up the inside and Nitish there. He's amazed Stoll didn't go to the Joker lap. He got alongside Nitish and tried to stuck in. Dubourg actually came off the brakes round the outside and took the Joker. We saw yesterday that actually by taking the Joker in the first lap, it gained so much time because, as we've said, it's a really big stop into turn 1, so they're all bottling up, a little bit of contact. But Stoll wasn't too popular yesterday with the Joker. There was contact there at turn 1. A good move on Nitish. Nitish will be trying to fight that.
Stoll nearly ran wide just there. Nitish is all over the back of him. Rennie Munich is apparently the only one who on that crucial tipping point between the two. Stoll still leading, and Nitish now we look up the inside. Nitish, if he gets good traction here, can take the place back from Stoll, but has to slot in behind him.
You can really see how slippy the tarmac is there. You can see that, 550 horsepower. Still scrambling for grip there on the exit of turn 1.
Manfred Stoll in this World RX Team Austria team. They built the cars over the winter. Literally only started running last week. There's that good weather with the understeer. You can see it was Linnerud Stoll as well. Nitish didn't gain much ground on him. Watch through here. There's just a few bumps developing. So up and over, but it's there through the little dip as they go from left to right, and then through that very narrow exit onto the straight side.
That's making it really stick. Stoll to the joker lap. His spotter will be on the radio. They'll think that Munich might be catching her. He's got more pace than Stoll to try and get the undercut.
Oh, Nittish there, he's going to slot back in just in front of the French drivers. Right up behind Munich, so that was the result then for Nittish. It's going to come down to the last two guys are both going to have to joke on their line. They've got 2 laps to go. No, 1 lap to go, so they're going to have to joke on this lap. So now
Munich's got a problem now. I was going to say that hasn't quite worked out for Nittish because he was going to get held up. Stoll very quick yesterday. This one is doing some quick lap times. Again, we don't know how much that is driving car or if it's the circuit. But Nittish, yeah, Stoll's out clearly in front there.
So Nittish there, when he came out behind Munich, did Munich hold him up with that problem? You know, 1 lap isn't really much time to try and make a gap anyway.
No, and you know, this place, as you said, Stoll was pretty quick yesterday. You don't see any sort of hold up like that. Munich might have had the problem for half a lap, and that's dropped Nittish back. So, disappointing day for Nittish yesterday. They might be able to bring him back into contention a little bit, but I'm sure he would have been hoping for more from this. You can see the ruts really making it a single line through there.
Nittish comes through in second. He was in 9th yesterday, Nittish. Any danger of not making it through with 1 heat to go. You say not the performance we're quite used to when he was a podium finisher in the World Championship last year. Here is confirmation of that result. Then Manfred Stoll with a heat race win for World RX Team Austria, with Rainis Nittish in second, Barbosa, Dubourg and Munich. The times are better than the previous heat, but they're not as good as the first one. So Stoll and Nittish slotting in 3rd and 4th place, but Larsen and Anton Markland are still at the top of the table. Heat race 4 is on the line. David Genet on the inside, Timo Timosyanov next to him, Liam Doran in the middle, and it's Topi Heikkinen and Matthias Ekström. This should be a
tucked in to keep on the clean line again over the curb. Excellent spin.
Great car control from those 3. If you look at them, they all 3 backed in. Heikkinen now right into the rear end of Ekström. This is the run up towards the start finish. Through the bumps, and then left, and then right onto the straight. He made a brilliant pass yesterday, and Doran is still with these guys. Timosyanov is now in 4th. He's in the background. You can see in the distance. In 5th, sorry, Timosyanov is all the way back. So it's Genet leading at the minute, but he's the only driver not to have joked. What gap's he going to need?
I think yesterday it was about, was it 3 seconds, 3-4 seconds. But I was surprised all 3 of them went for the joke on the first lap. I'm sure they thought Duran was going to tuck in. He probably had enough to overlap Genet, but he carried great speed in. So, as you say, just open up nicely from Matthias. You see on the handbrake here, Heikkinen trying to get it a bit of understeer. So really trying to use the handbrake to get the rear of the car turning on the way in.
There's Toppy Spotter up in the tower, going in. And then just pulling gears, trying to chase down David Genet.
Still a little bit off the first heat, best lap of Larsen, so the track probably has slowed a little bit.
And the gap at the minute is exactly pretty much 3 seconds for Genet, but visually, I think Genet's just beaten a line on this last lap, looking for the competition across to where they are. There is David Genet, the Frenchman, driving for a French manufacturer. Great to have him back in the championship, runner-up in 2013 European Rallycross Championship. Brilliant driver, I'm pleased to see him here, but I think he's suffering.
I think you're right, the last lap they did pretty much identical lap times, but that looks a little bit less than 3 seconds now. Really going to get a calculation for right from yesterday. It's going to be a very close one. Look at that!
That's a wonderful piece of car control. Genet with a beautiful slide through the joke lap, but it's not going to be enough to save his position. He slots back out just in front of Heikkinen. What a great drive by Genet down there on the
the brake. That was perfect, wasn't it? He carried so much speed and it looked like he might have overcooked it, but it turned absolutely fantastically. You were right on the last lap. Ekstrom took a second out of it, so he was clearly in front.
Doran stop. I think that's it. It's happened in the final corner. It is. The leader's coming around now, so Ekstrom in front of Genet. And Ekstrom's going to take this one. Doran has retired. That is a great shame for the British bike. Over the line. Here's Ekstrom. And then Hakkinen, and the times are great. Timosyanov over the line. Timosyanov did pretty well to come up to the back of the pack, considering he was left standing at the start line. Great time from Matthias Ekstrom. He dips under 3 minutes. They were under 3 minutes yesterday. Heat-winning time yesterday for Bakkerud in Heat 1 was a 2:57. You can see here Matthias Ekstrom with a 2:59.1. So Genet second, Topi Hakkinen third, Timosyanov in fourth, and Liam Doran with a DNF. Matthias Ekstrom and Davy Genet slot in front of Robin Larsson. So good stuff from them. Hakkinen into fourth place, Timosyanov into sixth. That was a quick one. The blue sky is out, but they're still not going quite as fast as they were yesterday in the pouring rain. Umbrellas have gone down. That's a good sign. The jackets are still on. It is cold up here. Neil Cole is in the Iron Spotters Tower with our team manager and spotters.
That looked like the perfect mixture of speed and strategy. That was a good race.
Yeah, it was a really good race, and he took the Joker in the right time and catch Genie up, so it was easy to overtake him when he took the Joker lap.
He did well to keep Topi behind him and then to catch up Davy.
Yeah, I mean, you saw he could build up the gap to Topi, and then it was much easier.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So not the best result then for Liam Doran in particular. Liam yesterday was sitting in 12th place after the first two heats, and he's in danger. Now he's in that retirement position. There's the replays. Timosyanov on the line. Great start, actually. This was the three of them down into turn one, and Liam ran wide out to the gravel.
On board with Hakkinen. See, look, he'll think he's got it. Bit of understeer, but then you'll see Ekstrom up the inside. Oh, I just missed it.
Wipers are still on. It was raining a little bit, but not too much. That was where Genet popped out in front of Hakkinen. That was a great job by him, and all around the outside, Liam Doran. Be disappointed, and as I say, in danger of not making it through to the semis. Liam is going to need a fantastic run in Heat 4, or possibly a bit of unlucky weather for the other drivers. The final heat race of Heat 3 is lining up now. These are the boys who were super fast yesterday. Petter Solberg on the inside won Heat 3 and was second overnight. Andreas Bakkerud was in first place overnight. Johan Kristoffersson in third. PG Anderson lines up fourth on the grid, and Timmy Hansen on the outside. Better then this year with a very different start procedure. He's got his start revs down to 3,700, he says. It went well this morning in the wet. How's it going to go in the dry? They're all going to be gambling on the RPM. To me, it looks like Bakkerud made the best gamble, but up the inside of him, Solberg uses the dirt on the inside. Bakkerud straight away gone to the Joker lap.
Solberg's had to go to the Joker lap.
So Solberg outbraked himself. Hansen up the inside of Bakkerud. So it's 4 cars and Kristoffersson's off in the lead.
Great start from Bakkerud, as we've seen all, you know, the last few years, one of the best starters in the championship. But Solberg, again, we've seen before, not the best initial start, then he comes back so strong. Bakkerud was giving him a little bit of a squeeze onto the dirt, but he obviously outbraked himself, forced to take the Joker lap, so that's really hurt his race.
So Petter then, maybe with Bakkerud coming down the outside, has thought, I'm not having this, I don't want to be beaten into turn one, and has missed the braking point. This is quite a unique place from the point of view of the pace that they approach the split of the Joker at.
It's very hard. You've got to be very disciplined, haven't you? You've got to hit your brake markers, but with the track condition changing, that's changing all the time also. So very tricky when you see people flying past you to the Joker lap to hit your breaker point and get into turn one properly.
PG Anderson there, just showed himself in the mirrors of Bakkerud in front of him. Want to just say hello, I am here. Solberg down in fifth place, sorry, not gone so well for Solberg then after outbraking himself at turn one. And this is what we need to see this year. If we want to see Petter Solberg beaten, I'm not saying I do, but we want to see him fought hard for the championship. Last year, I think he had a clear advantage, and this year, if the other drivers can take the fight to him, we're going to see whether or not he can stand the pressure of not being out front in a race.
Absolutely, he's very competitive. A lot of people have done a lot of testing through the winter, made developments of the car. There's some new drivers in, there's drivers changing teams and stuff, but Kristoffersson, it opened up a treat for him at turn one. He was very quick all of last year. He's in for the whole World Championship this year. He's a really impressive impressive guy. He's a young, very fast driver. So this has worked out very, very well for him and not so well for Solberg. So, you know, we're seeing the weather changing. We're seeing little things like bits of contact down to turn one. It's all very, very exciting.
Christopherson then is the only driver who still has to joker, and we're seeing again what we've seen in the previous heats. The four who went on the first lap are starting to catch him up, and at the minute I'm not sure if the gap's going to be big enough for him to hold them off.
It's just over 2 seconds, isn't it? Timmy's done the fastest lap of any of the heats so far. He's looking very smooth and neat and tidy as always. Timmy is very, very fast all weekend.
Where is Christopherson going to slot in? Wait till you see this. So Christopherson goes wide on the handbrake maybe early. He's pitched it in either way. There's a stream of cars going through in front of him. Where's Christopherson going to come back in on that train? Oh, just behind Bakkerud. So he comes in just behind Bakkerud. Solberg's made it up past a spot as well. So Solberg's managed to get past PG, which I think was on the brakes at the end of the straight while we were watching the joker lap there. On board again.
So Solberg on the last lap did a lap that was half a second quicker than anyone, so he's got the speed. We know this should be a pretty quick heat time. Obviously he wants to win, all of these drivers do, but it's important to remember this is about heat time and not necessarily race position.
Well, race position on this one, it goes to Timmy Hansen, brilliant drive by him, backward follows him over the line with Christopherson, and that I think is the fastest time of the weekend. So finally we're seeing the dry conditions come off up in the team. There's Susan Hansen and members of the Peugeot Hansen squad. They and Peugeot Sport, who built the cars over the winter, will be very, very pleased with that. Here's a result of Heat 3, Race 5. Timmy Hansen with a 2:56.6. Bakkerud right behind him. Christopherson made it out in third after that last lap joker. Solberg after the first lap mistake down in fourth. PG ends up fifth, and here's where they go overall. The top three have gone to the top of Heat 3 standings, benefiting from that drier run at the end of the heat. Wow. World Rallycross Championship is back in style for 2015. The umbrellas are going up. Who knows what's going on with the weather? Perhaps Neil Cole will be able to ask Kenneth Hansen, who he's with in the spotters tower right now.
Not just a great race win, but an amazing time. You got everything right, and so did Timmy.
Yeah, you know, we gambled quite a lot because all the other car was on dry tires and we were on wet, but some experience said to me and Timmy, we go on wet, and it was absolutely brilliant choice.
And he pushed all the way through as well, because it's all very well getting the strategy up here, but he was good.
Absolutely, he did it perfect, I think. No big mistake at all, and you hear I have no voice more, so I was pushing him as much as possible.
Yeah, we could hear you shouting, and I think he could probably hear you shouting on track as well. Interesting as well that Petter got slightly hampered by Andreas, which helped Timmy as well.
Yeah, it did, and normally in these conditions Petter is very quick and so on, but you know, if you're stuck behind you can't do so much. So it was a little strange first corner that 4 cars went into the joker, but that was good for us.
Thanks, well done.
Kenneth Hansen smiling away. He's a
bit of a smug smile, but I think it was worth it. Very experienced.
He's entitled to a smug smile, isn't he, Kenneth Hansen? That was a brilliant performance by them. Here's the replays. Andrew, we heard there, Timmy on wet.
Oh, I'm very surprised at that. You can see in the background Solberg had to abort rather than outbrake himself, but there, Timmy, the grip underneath, got the car turned, great driver.
So is that about tyres, or is that about Timmy being the only one of those guys that managed to get the braking point right down into the joker?
I think probably a bit of both. I think the wet tyre will have made the biggest difference on the dirt sections. You know, the tarmac doesn't look hugely wet. The slick tyre or the dry tyre is very soft anyway, so I think the main part of the difference will have been on the dirt.
It looks like the joker lap is about 3 seconds still. We saw Christopherson had a lead of 2 when he went into it, and he came out in third place. Let's have a look at the standings then after those results in Heat 3. Andreas Bakkerud still tops the standings as he did overnight. Behind him, Timmy Hansen, Petter Solberg, Johan Kristoffersen, PG Anderson, Matthias Ekström, Topi Heikkinen and Timo Timosjanov. Genet, Larsen, Nittish and Stoll are in. Linerud and Doran at the bottom there, you can see. Dubourg as well, all out. Last page, Anton Markland, never going to make it now. Alex Danielson as well, disastrous weekend for him.
Last season, Petter Solberg became the first ever FIA World Rallycross champion. We caught up with the champ to discuss past, present, paddock and Petter.
It was a very hard year. Rallycross is a very special sport that makes that you need many things to actually work together to win. But to win this it's been incredible. Many of the races are special, you know, like winning in Louillac, that was good in front of so many people. But Portugal, the first win, that was maybe then okay. now we are in control. But to win this is been incredible. It makes me very happy. Sleep well at night and wake up in the morning as a champion. Yeah, it's not bad. The first big key is to have the best people in your team that have the same passion and goals that I have. That is the biggest key. From my own point of view, I'm very hungry, and that also helps. Like before this race now, I was with the team for, I think I was up for 42 hours. And I'm not the guy who's going to bed. I want to show the same feeling as they do for me, that I stay with them all the time. I know for sure everybody have been working flat out. And for sure they want to beat me, it's no doubt, you know. All of these guys are strong personalities, really want to win. It will be very, very, very interesting. First of all, I will never tell you about my weaknesses, you know, because I try to hide them. I'm the dreamer. I just need good people around me to make the dreams come true.
Joining us later this season in the FIA World Rallycross Championship will be the Touring Car and European Rallycross Championships, showcasing even more great action over the race weekend. The Euro RX teams will race alongside the World RX cars during qualifying, but new for 2015, the Euro RX class will feature its own semi-finals and final. Joining the party this weekend is the Super 1600s, four-wheel drive hot hatches using 1600cc engines.
Yeah, it's a very nice category for growing up for the championship. It's front-wheel drive, approx 240 to 250 horsepower. It's needs from the driver very precision driving. You need to be smooth at every places, and it's very good for future that you get the lines and everything, and the stability what you can get from Super 1600. It's very necessary for the future.
In my opinion, Super 1600 is the best you can do before entering a supercar, because it's all about the control of the car, precision. You need to be really careful with the steering wheel, with the pedals, you know, takes really control. So if you can handle Super 1600, then you can do supercar easy.
It's quite huge, 21 cars already in the first event, so it looks amazing. New drivers, Sabo, Misuya, Linnemann, also from Baltic States guys. They will be, everyone will be very, very fast as well. Set Promotion did a great job in the winter time, and we are well prepared.
Last year we got a lot of experience, because last year was like I just entered the championship, didn't know the tracks really. So this year it all changed for me, because I've been here before. It feels much better when you know the track and you know what's going on.
I think for this kind of conditions, like it's now outside rainy, and you have to be very, very ambitious, and as well you have to be very smooth on the throttle, and everything what you do in the track is depend on the next corner. So you have to be very, very smooth on the accelerator, and how do you turn the car into the corners. So it will be quite hard for us, everyone, but everyone the condition is the same, so it's really nice.
Vice champion last year, ambition for this year is to show my best, you know. Of course everybody wants to win. I just want to show great racing, you know. I trained hard all last winter, I mean this winter. So I think everybody did the same, so we'll see. Give us a few moments.
It's a fantastic leader formula, and many of the current supercar stars are former champions.
The sun was out for the start of Heat 4, and the times were sure to tumble. Liam Doran, after stopping in Heat 3, got an absolute flyer of a start, but the car stopped this time in Turn 1 and went on to take an emphatic victory with a fantastic time. Tord Linnerud had another great run in his heat race. A little battle with local driver Joachim Santos, but he came out in front of the Frenchman Dubourg after the Joker lap merge and took the checkered flag.
Another 600 brake horsepower.
supercars lined up on the line. Timozyanov moved, of course, over the winter from Peugeot Hansen to Ford MSE. Here's the full lineup. Timozyanov on the inside, Manfred Stoll, Reinis Nitish, Alex Danielson and Mario Barbosa. So Timozyanov on the inside from Peugeot Hansen to Ford MSE, but as an individual entrant. Didn't get a great start last time out, if I remember correctly, was left on the line. Let's see if he can get it right this time. He had a misfire in practice yesterday, but they got that sorted. Thumbs up from the marshal, anti-lags on, all the switches are being hit, the pedals are down and launch away from the line. Timozyanov, disaster again. Shocking start from several of the drivers there. And Nitish, he's way out in front. Manfred Stoll behind him. Who's going to go to the Joker? So Nitish goes Joker. Stoll's trying to go around the outside of him. Stoll, don't drive into him. That's more like it. So Stoll leaves him plenty of space, and Timozyanov is a long way off the back.
Actually, you know, the camera's on the front wheel of Timmer's car there, and you just saw it jumped and bogged, so you'd think the revs are too low. Fantastic start for Nitish, and I'm sure he had a bit of a talking to from Jussi Pinimäki. He wasn't too happy after his interview, so I'm sure going down there is in his mind, right, let's not make the same mistake.
Wasn't it Stoll that was
It was indeed,
well?
yeah. So I'm sure Jussi, who Nitish knows very well, he's the team manager for the team, but also Nitish's spotter. I'm sure he's had a bit of word with him. Just keep it nice, neat and tidy. It's all about that heat time.
And Jussi Pinimäki, of course, also runs the Set Promotion Super 1600 team, which Nitish took the Super 1600 European title with, so he took a title. Bakker took 2 titles under Pinimäki, and Timozyanov took 1 as well. So, you know, those 3 guys all with Pinimäki at Ford MSE. It's quite hard on them. I thought his comments about Nitish were quite hard, but is that what you need as a driver?
You know, at this level, probably yes. You know, if Jussi thinks that's the case, then he should go and say it, and if Reinis disagrees, then he'll tell him that as well. But, you know, we say about the move... Is that Danielson?
Yeah, it is. It's Danielson with a problem. So Danielson's cruising down the straight.
Sounded like had a lot of revs on it as he went past the commentary box, whether it's something transmission. But Stoll's going with Reinis here. You know, Stoll, as we said, it's, you know, the racecraft might not be quite there yet. He goes, dives, carries so much speed in.
Oh, a bit too much speed. He's out in the gravel trap. So Stoll with the 4-wheel drive manages to pull the car back onto line, but mistake there.
Yeah, we've seen that before. You know, it's such a quick entry into that. The circuit's very dusty. You can see it's so hard as you're going past Nitish, who's braking for the normal lap, just to judge your, you know, the closing distance huge, so you've got to judge your braking point spot on.
You can get dragged in, can't you? And he got dragged in there, of course. He's right behind Nitish. Maybe not feeling that he was being held up by him, but Joker anyway. See if he can get a faster lap in and come out in front.
Yeah, on the last lap he was a couple of tenths quicker than Nitish, so his spotter would have said, look, you've got the pace on him, try and do the Joker and get the undercut.
What's great to see there, of course, is that the Team RX Austria cars are fast. So Stoll, you know, they've got a decent car underneath them. They built those cars over the winter, and I think Manfred could be a threat for semi-finals and finals as the year goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the speed. Obviously, he's new to rallycross, so that's to learn. But Timozyanov's going very quick. You know, he's in fourth at the minute. He's in a 40.1, which is the quickest lap we've seen all weekend. So he'll obviously be, you know, he's got the red mist. That's 2 starts, and with the revs like that's nothing the driver can really do. It's already preset. The foot's flat to the floor on the limiter, and you drop the clutch, and if it's a bit too low, then it bogs. So he'll be very frustrated, but coming back with some very good pace.
Nitish through the final corners, checkered flag for him. Great drive. Coming over the line behind him will be Manfred Stoll. 2:49.1, Andrew.
A very quick race time there. It's going to be interesting with the quicker guys coming up, see what that drops down to, if at all.
Here's a confirmation of the result. Reinis Nitish with a 2:49.1, then Manfred Stoll, Mario Barbosa, Timozyanov with that fluff start, and Alex Danielson with a DNF. That's the standings of Heat 4, and then that is the combined standings after Heat 4, Race 3. So some of those guys still to go. Further down the order, you can see those who are sitting just outside the top 12, as I say, but they're yet to go in this race, so they have a chance to make it back up. Neil Cole is down at the finish area, and I'm hoping that he's got with him the race winner, Reinis Nitish.
So, Reinis, Jussi said if you get turn 1 right, you get it right.
Yeah, finally I did it. And first corner was good this time, and I'm back. It feels good. And first 3 heats went bad, actually. Good luck and a lot of mistakes from my side, but now I did clean run and without big mistakes, and yeah, the feeling is back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Nitish then pretty much admitting responsibility for the mistakes earlier in the heat. We mentioned that Pinimäki had been quite hard on him, but That's what he needed, it seems. Tim Azyanov on the line.
It's such a shame. He's got great pace in that car. He's new to the car, but here you see Nittis hits his mark. He gets the car stopped. It'll be in his head not to brake himself. Stoll tries to go on the outside, which is never really going to happen. This is where Stoll, he carries so much speed. And look at the dust there. That's just losing grip. Lucky he didn't roll over like Markland did yesterday. That's exactly what happened. You could see he dug in a little bit, but great race. It's good to see that Nittis, you know, he's admitting the mistakes. You've got to learn from them, and that talking to obviously worked.
Track cleaning up big time, and it was a very fast time from the Latvian superstar.
The exciting support category to supercars is the RX Lights Cup. All season, this single-make class is the perfect training ground for the World Rallycross Championship.
RX Lights is the step under supercars. It's a four-wheel drive car with 310 horsepower. It's a tube frame chassis with the engine in the back, quite special. You can start from 16 years old and you can go until you don't have a license. It's really great for us young drivers to get into rallycross and see how it is.
The RX Lights to supercar, they are quite similar, except the main thing is the power. I was really amazed by the power when I was in Argentina last season, but feeling wise, and you have the four-wheel drive and you have all of the things that a supercar has, so it's the best car to learn how to drive a supercar.
RX Lights is not just for the youngest drivers though. Joining the battle for 2015 is Polish rallying legend Krzysztof Holowczyk.
The idea that the engine is behind, it means that it's like a racing car. It's more racing car like rally car. And the feeling is, on the beginning I was sure that it will be so heavy to drive, but the handling is so good. You feel that it's not front pushing, not too much, but I like it. It's very nice car.
I love rallycross because there's so much action. It's short races, and I love that intenseness of the races. I love to stand on the start line to feel 100% prepared, more than the others, and feel all the 310 horsepower in my back under the right foot, and just get off the clutch and just go full power down to the first corner. It's so amazing.
Yeah, it's getting more and more competitive all the time, and last season it was quite a lot of me and Kevin Hansen that was fighting for the championship, and this year we have a lot of new drivers that we don't really know how they're standing, so it's we need to be full throttle directly and do our best. I like the track. It's really fast and you have a nice flow in it. You have a really long straightaway in the beginning to right hairpin, which is tight in the beginning, but then it opens, so it's really hard corner. Then you go to gravel, and then that's where the fun begins. It's like full throttle, full RPM. It's bah, 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 it's really amazing. So it's for me, it's one of the tracks I enjoy most to drive on.
It's really third time on my life that I change, but it's fantastic. When you feel this energy, when you feel how people are prepared, it means that this discipline is growing up.
Heat 4, Race 4, Davy Genet, Robin Larsson, PG Anderson, Topi Heikkinen and Anton Markland. Markland then with a disastrous weekend yesterday, and I think he'll need a miracle to make it through. We'll see after the race whether or not he's going to make it into the top 12. All of these drivers we're hearing are apparently on dry tyres, so all of them are on dry tyres. Interesting gamble from Peugeot Hansen in the previous heat when Hansen took wets when really it was looking dry, and he won the heat overall. Great start here then from Heikkinen around the outside. He's got Anderson on his inside. Larsson slams the door in Genet's face. PG Anderson trying to go around the outside of Larsson in the background, but Larsson's going to come out of this one first. I think PG's run wide, and Davy Genet manages to slot underneath him.
Great start from Larsson yet again. We saw in the last heat, good start. He's one of the best starters around. Really gets the car hooked up well. He just nibbled across on Genet, slight bit of contact I think, but had enough of an overlap to get in front. Then you've got to be disciplined, get the car stopped, get it turned and shoot the car off.
I cannot believe how different the track looks from this morning, Andrew. We stood on the roof of the control tower and watched some of the buggies that went out for free practice, literally buried in a foot of dirt, couldn't move, had to be towed off the track. All the mud's gone. We've got a completely bone dry line.
We're complaining of dust next.
Yeah. Very British of us. Always find something that we're not happy with, can't we?
Anderson to the Joker lap there. You can see the cars squirming onto the normal lap and the Joker lap. They're just on such a fine line on the limit of the tyres' grip. The track's dirty down there to get the car stopped, but Haikkonen's looking very quick. He's been quick all weekend, consistently up in the top 5, top 6.
That hasn't worked out for PG at all there, so he's taken his Joker lap and immediately dropped in behind the other two. So was that a strange time to go, or was it because of the traffic he was in?
I would think the spotter's looking on who's catching, trying to get the undercut and cover off Markland or someone like that. We've seen it's either best to go on the first lap when it all bottles to the inside, or save it to the last lap, but it's down to the spotter to make the call.
I've been quite impressed with PG, despite the fact he's at the back of this one. These are 5 very fast drivers. He's a double junior world rally champion, comes across to Rallycross, did a few events last year and didn't really shine, but he was jumping in and out of different cars. This year he gets the call. I saw him at the media day. He's so chuffed to be on the world stage again all year, and again in tricky conditions this morning we saw he was a powerful weapon of a driver.
Absolutely, he's very experienced, and then this is on board with Haikkonen. You can see the dust, bit of handbrake there, get the car turned. Look at that tarmac on the inside, using the grip, and then again a bit of handbrake, get the car turned. Look there, use a bit of curb, but the grip's on the inside. You've got to get on that, up over the curb, and there'll be a bit of a bump here as the car turns around the Armco. But Markland's going very quick, 39.9 on the last lap. It's the quickest lap of the weekend by a fair margin.
Fantastic. So Larson as well has now dropped into the 39.9s, but Markland was slightly quicker than him.
This is going to be the merge then. Haikkonen's coming out of the turn one. He's done it. Yeah, Larson had a big slide through the Joker lap. It looked like we've seen a few people carry so much speed and big drift. It's great to watch, but maybe not the quickest way to go about it.
When you come out of that Joker lap, it's so close. We see the car, because it comes from, of course, the right to the left, then the transition, it slides across the track, and you've got to be absolutely certain you've got a gap to go into. It's a massive shunt. Very, very brave stuff.
Haikkonen, though, really quick, every lap, very consistent. It's going to be a great win for him.
Haikkonen over the line with a very, very tightly driving. A stream of cars tight behind him. Larson, Markland, Anderson and Genet. So Genet dropped back, but Topi Haikkonen with a 2:47.118. Very, very fast indeed. Here is the result. Topi with that fantastic time. Larson is second. Anton Markland with a great drive in third. PG Anderson fourth. And Davy Genet in fifth. So this is the combined standings after Heat 4, Race 4. So some of these guys still to go. We're going to see who's in danger on the second page. So Barbosa and Dubourg are on the verge of going out, but are they still to race? They are not. So if people in this last race go faster, they're going to get knocked out. Liam as well, looking like he's going to be out of this one. Neil is down at the finish area with Topi Haikkonen.
Topi, you look pumped. Not just a good race win, but a great time.
Yeah, I think so. It was quite good. We had struggling a little bit with the small details, so now it's dry. Now it's totally different again, but I think it was quite a good run. Still, we need to take one step ahead to make it happen. I really want to win this race, and we had struggling a little bit, but I think it's coming.
Thank you.
Great drive from Topi. Let's have a little look back at how he got the job done in that one. Away from the line. Decent start by all 5 cars. I suppose actually Anton.
Yeah, Markland dropped back. There's a little bit of contact on the inside, but Haikkonen straight to the Joker lap. Hits marker, gets the car stopped. Good slow-mo there. Look, you can see the grip on the inside. You've got to be on that. If it's not, it just drags you wide. But Larson and Genet there quite wide. This is the merge. Haikkonen clearly through, but a good close merge between Larson and Markland and the two Audis.
See what I mean about being committed, coming back in. If there isn't a gap, there's contact. You've got to commit to it, otherwise you're going to drop back. Here's the lineup then for the final heat race of Heat 4. Timmy Hansen, Andreas Backerud, Johan Kristoffersson, Matthias Ekström and Petter Solberg. That is quite a lineup. But who is going to take this one? It's the final heat race of qualifying. This is going to decide who's going to sit on pole in each of the semi-finals. These are all the fast boys ready to go.
I think backward was creeping there.
Backward, certainly, surely he's crept over the jump start marker. He has, so they're waving him off. The drivers haven't heard
Some
yet.
of the cars
drop the revs.
Yeah, still on the limiter, so they're obviously not seeing the start delayed board. But you can see backward, he's obviously trying to fight, edged a couple of times over that, so he's going to have to take his joker lap twice now. That's normally the punishment. If it's found, it was him.
Backward was sitting on top of the standings. He won Heat 1, he was second in Heat 2 and second in Heat 3, so that's not what he wants, because it is important to get a decent grid position in the semi-finals.
And, you know, all being well, this should be a very quick heat time. It's, you know, if they don't batter too much, you can see backward move forward again there, look.
Backward surely triggered the jump start sensor again. So has backward got a problem with his car?
I wonder if the clutch isn't clearing or something, and he's gone to put it in gear, because the guys normally put it in gear when each of their marshals walk off the grid. You'd normally clunk it in gear and start the start procedure.
Well, we wonder if maybe the start procedure hadn't started, in which case backward wouldn't be penalised for a second jump start. I'm not even sure what the penalty is for a second jump start. Let's hope he doesn't get a third one. Third time lucky. Heat 4, race 5, green flag up. And this time they're way backward with a disaster, so backwards bogged down. Hansen on the inside, Kristoffersen shuts the door on Hansen, so Hansen's not going to get a whole shot down to turn 1. Solberg's going straight to the joker lap, and with him goes Matthias Ekström. Disaster for Baccarat.
It's the same as Timijanov. Is that a car issue or is it a revs issue? He's only just got it going now, so he's got to take 2 joker laps, and he's got a bad start. But Solberg and Ekström, look at Solberg, backs it right in there, flick, left foot brake hard, get the car turned. This is going to be a pretty quick heat time. Kristoffersen obviously been very quick, Hansen's been very quick, so they need to work together almost. Just don't battle, just get going, get your heads down and think of the overall heat time.
Look how close Solberg and Ekström already are to those 2 in front. It's not 3 seconds. We know the joker lap takes roughly 3 seconds. It's that first lap joker lap again. Just seems to be working wonders. Are any of the teams going to gamble on sending either of the front 2 drivers away? They're not. So the front 2 now, they're just getting their gap eaten up.
But I think as well, you know, Kristoffersen going down there in the lead on the inside, you're going to have to brake the car a lot more than you would on the racing line, because you've got a tighter corner because you're going into it tight. This on board is Solberg. Look, you can see he's busy on the steering wheel, flicks it hard in there, uses the car grip, and again, is there any handbrake? No, he's not. He's using the left foot brake a lot, I would think. A bit of handbrake there, get the car turned. Lovely 4-wheel drift. But going back to turn 1, you know, Kristoffersen's got to cover it, he's got to get the car stopped and turn, and that's just costing time the whole time, and Solberg can carry great speed into the joker lap on turn 1.
He's got to get that right, of course, and we have seen other people misjudge the braking into the joker lap, so good job by Solberg. Ekström as well, very clever, he's just following Solberg. He's not making any problems for him. Baccarat's done both his jokers, but yeah, Solberg just following him. Ekström following him. There's no point slowing them down.
He might as well. They've both taken the joker lap. There's nowhere he's really going to pass unless Solberg makes a mistake, which isn't probably going to happen. He's done a 39.5, fastest lap of the weekend, so he knows he's got good pace. He'll be thinking, let's just keep our heads down, get a good time. The points, you know, the main points and the race win in the final is what he's going to want massively. Hansen using loads of curb there.
So Solberg at the minute is plus 2.6 on the leader, and Hansen, you see the timing at the bottom of the screen from our official timing partner Rebellion, and they have not got enough time. Maybe Kristoffersen, but I don't think so. On the inside then, Solberg and Ekström coming around the joker lap. Where are the 2 on the outside going to slot in? They've done it. Solberg and Ekström out in front of both Kristoffersen and Hansen. Great tactical drive. Fantastic performance by them. They've just got their heads down, followed each other around, made no mistakes. They judged that braking right on the first lap. Solberg's on an absolute flyer here, and with Baccarat having the problem of having to do 2 joker laps, yeah, this is going to affect the overall standing significantly.
Look at Solberg here, working away. You can see how bumpy it is, but look, he's very relaxed. It was great win, very, very fast time.
Brilliant drive from Solberg and by Ekström. And the 2 guys behind as well. Where are they? 2:44.6. Is that the fastest time of the weekend so far?
It's nearly 3 seconds quicker than Heikkinen was in the last one. So those guys were on a mission.
They certainly were. Here's an on-board away from the line. That was on board with Solberg, who got a great start. But look, I mean, did he choose or did he see on the inside that the guys were there?
I think you're on the outside, you've got to go to the jokers. You can see it all bottling up a little bit with Kristoffersen and Hansen, and that's just costing time when Solberg and Ekström can carry the speed they want and do their own thing through the joker lap.
We saw with Nitish, you know, he missed that braking point, got told off by his team manager for not braking in time. You've got to be super cautious on the brakes if you're on the inside. Then that hands it over to the guys who are on the joker.
Absolutely, because as you say, you've got to get the car stopped, you've got to get it turned, you don't want to give up the win.
Solberg with the win, then Ekström in second place, Kristoffersen, Hansen in fourth, and Baccarat with that double joker in fifth. These are the Heat 4 standings on their own. Solberg, Ekström, Kristoffersson and Hansen all go faster than anyone before them and slot in, so Backer had missed out there. Fantastic heat race at the end of Heat 4. That's the qualifying done. Petter Solberg was on a flyer there, and he is with Neil Cole.
Petter, that early joker, an incredible pace. That's a game changer for today.
Yeah, it was, sorry about my word, I have fever and a bad water. I could maybe have taken the first corner straight away, but it's too risky, so I just went straight, decided, but it was okay, you know. I'm very happy with the car, and it's going to be very interesting later, you know, so I'm very, very happy with my performance anyway, yeah.
It was better than okay, Petter.
It's better than okay, but okay is a short word, good for my voice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Petter told us this morning that it would be sign language only in interviews because his voice was completely gone. But he's done an absolutely brilliant job, and with that performance he stuck himself at the top of the table. 16 points for him. Remember, there are qualifying points all the way down to 16th place, which Linnerud gets, but only the top 12 go through to the semi-finals. Let's see how they split. So if you're new to Rallycross, the odd numbers go to semi-final number 1 and the evens to semi-final number 2. So in semi-1, Solberg, Backerud, Ekström, Andersson, Larsen and Nittish. And in semi-final 2, it's Hansen, Kristoffersson, Heikkinen, Genet, Timizyanov and Stoll. Pick a winner from that lot.
A brief pause before the semi-finals for a chance for the thousands of fans here at Montalegre to meet the drivers and get autographs. Let's have a quick word with Andreas Backerud. Andreas, if I could just jump in here and have a quick word while you're signing autographs for your fans. Talk us through what happened at the start of the last race.
Well, we had a little failure there and happens to burn the clutch a little bit, and so I had to put it in turn the engine off, put the first gear on, and when the new start came on, I was starting on the start engine. But yeah, I mean, that's a part of the game, and like we spoke, Rallycross is so unpredictable. We spoke about a famous Swedish athlete, you can create your own luck, but that doesn't happen in Rallycross.
But you're not in a bad position for the semi-finals at all.
No, I mean, we have been calm and good all weekend, done good job, and yeah. So one bad race that's it.
And if we can move to you, Matthias, we come this side of you. Matthias, it's a very smart session this morning, quick but clever.
I mean, it's very difficult to know what to do, but when the track is dry, I feel more confident and more with my daily business. So I feel the car very good in the dry and was struggling a little in the wet, but generally good times, good feeling, and to be fifth coming into the semi-finals is good, no doubt about that, but still like half time in football, and now it's time for second half, and I probably will be a little bit wilder racing than the first half.
Thanks, Matthias. Let's move along the line. PG Anderson, you seem to be enjoying your first weekend.
Yeah, it was really good fun. Today I haven't found the speed properly. I don't know really why, but now when it's semi-finals, you have to be there.
And what's the strategy for the semi-finals to find that speed?
It's to do what you should do. Just drive as hard as possible, and now you don't need to think. You just need to be in the top 3.
And how does the car feel? You know, something new bit of kit?
Yeah, it handles really well, and well, I'm happy with the car.
Very good, thank you very much. And then finally, just a quick word over here with Topi Heikkinen. Topi, just a quick answer from you, if that's okay. How was the heat today?
Yeah, the last one was quite good, but then it's drying up, so the other ones made a little bit better laps, but...
Good luck in the semis.
Thanks.
Supercars are down on the pre-grid and very nearly ready for the semi-finals. You can see some of them are jacked up. They've had 2 tyre changes already, gone one way and then the other. And the rain is coming up the valley again. So we've had one lot, it's gone dry, it's going wet again. Who knows? Stay with us. This is going to be exciting. Well, we're live in Portugal for round one of the FIA 2015 World Rallycross Championship. That's Toby Heikkinen down on the grid. The semi-final lineup is absolutely outstanding, and we can't wait to get this underway. My name is Andrew Coley, and alongside me is a man who stood on the podium last year in the UK, Andrew Jordan. Andrew, great to be back, isn't it?
Yeah, very exciting. We've had lots of different weather, some great action. Everyone's been out testing a lot through the winter. There's been some driver and team changes, so they all want to come out and show who's doing the best job through the winter. But it's a long season. It's important to get some points on the board at round one.
Let's have a look and see where we are headed this year then. First up, of course, we are in Portugal, followed up by Hockenheim. Later on in the year, we're going to Barcelona. They are our two new venues out of the 13 rounds. But this is where we are this weekend. Montalegre, right on the border with Spain in northern Portugal. And as you can see from that very, very heavy sky in the background, that's what it's looked like pretty much the entire time we've been here. We've had a bit of sunshine this morning, which you'll have seen in Heat 4, and I promise you that has been it. It was non-stop, relentless rain. The drivers have got wet tyres to use, but they've been using them quite a lot already. You can see they're on Ekström's car there. It's going to be fascinating to see who's going to run on what tyres and who's going to make it through to the final. But let's see how they got to where they are now. Day one then, that's what the weather was like. Look at the track, absolutely sodden. Anton Markland in the background, sideways into the gravel trap. Unlucky, but he ended up upside down. The car, just the slightest ripple in the roof and it was out in the next heat, so great job by them. You'll see Larson go off there from the onboard. He ended up in the gravel trap, couldn't get it back on. There was a battle royale between Solberg and Bakkerud. In fact, it was Solberg who took the race win, but it was Bakkerud who topped the standings overnight. Timmers Yarnov there with a dreadful start. Liam Doran headed down towards the end of the straight. He got the braking wrong. That was on a rare occasion we had some sunshine. There's Doran sliding off, as you can see. Unfortunately, he retired later on in the race, so that wasn't great for him either. Now, Petter Solberg on the inside. Andrew Jordan, you spotted this, managed to outbrake himself.
Yeah, in the background you could see him squirming on the brakes, couldn't quite get it stopped, so he was forced to go to the Joker. He was then stuck in some traffic, so he had to, he's got to go, get the good, quick heat time. But you can see he's stuck in traffic, not where he wanted to be. Very close on the merge there, but this all played into Timmy Hansen's hands.
And he was on wet tyres. That was what was so fascinating. The track was really drying out, but he was on wet tyres. Kenneth Hansen very, very pleased with that. Onto a very dry Heat 4. Liam Doran got the brakes right this time, turned into turn one, got it away. Set a decent time compared to what had gone before him, but of course others went quicker later. Timmers Yarnov with another fluff start, gambled wrong on the RPM, but then they hadn't had many chances to try it in the dry. This was Manfred Stoll heading off into the gravel. He'd had a battle with Reinis Nittisch. Nittisch won this time round. Euro Rallycross champion from last year, Robin Larson, absolutely on the pace. He was second in this one, sideways over the line, but great to see him on it. He'll be in the whole of the World Rallycross Championship this year, and this is on board with Solberg. Up and over the curbs, through the dirt section here, and over the line. Great job by Solberg. Bakkerud, unfortunately, had a problem with his starts, and that meant that Solberg was on top of the intermediate standings. There he is, 16 points for him. Remember, down to 1 point for Linnerud in 16th, but only the top 12 go through. This is how they split. Odds to 1 and evens to 2. So Petter Solberg is on pole in semi-final number 1, and Timmy Hansen is on pole in semi-final number 2. Just a short while ago, Neil Colt managed to catch up with Timmy Hansen.
Well, Timmy, the weather's just taken another turn for the wet. You're in the car, keeping dry, but it looks like tyres are all changed.
Yeah, they're changing tires just outside. It just started to rain just when we pulled up here. So at the moment we don't have long to go, and we have to look at the track to see what's happening to choose the right tire. It's going to be a big gamble.
And I can see all the engineers looking at each other's cars to see what they're choosing.
Yeah, everyone's looking at each other. You know, no one wants to make the stupid decision. But at the end of the day, I'm very confident with the team I have, and especially with my father, with all the experience he has. He did a fantastic choice in Heat 3, and I think we will make the same now.
Good luck, thank you.
Well, we'll see who does make the right choices. There's Solberg, who's on pole in the other semi. Looks like he's on wets at the minute. On board with the world champion, who has lost his voice. Wasn't feeling very well when he came to the circuit. And this morning it had literally nothing left. He came and saw me and Andrew Jordan this morning and just said, I've got no voice, gave us some hand signals, and that was it. Let's have a look at Petter earlier on today. He's on the outside line here. Tim and Matthias Ekström down towards turn 1. Andrew Jordan, this was all about these guys going straight to the Joker lap. We've seen that as a very successful tactic.
Yeah, it all bottles up on the inside, so by Solberg and Ekström going to the outside, they're in clear air, they can get on with their own race. And that just plays into the hands, into clear space, head down, eyes forward, not worrying about defending. Ekström knows that. He knows he can just go with Solberg. It's going to be a quick heat time. He doesn't need to battle too hard with him. On board here is Solberg. Great start, and he said after the race he'd already made his mind up he was going down to the Joker, so he was covering to the inside a little bit from Ekström. On the brake, down the gears, you can see over the dirt, your car just moves a little tug on the handbrake, smooth on the throttle, then you can hear the gear shift there, flat shifter working nicely, up over that curve. They use a huge amount of curves here, little, just clip the right one there, and then on the brakes, flick it in. You can see how much the track goes down, and then up, right over that curve, use lots of the curve, get the car turned. This circuit's got so much more elevation, and you can see that there with how much curb he's using and how much he's really using the car and the handbrake to get the car turned.
Thank you, Andrew Jordan, for a brilliant analysis of a wonderful drive from Petter Solberg. Let's have a little look and see what we've got coming up for you. First of all, of course, we have the live Supercar semi-finals. Top 3 go through and the bottom 3 are out. We're then going to see the RX Lights final, and that's going to be lively, we know. And then, of course, we have a live Supercar final for you to see who wins round 1 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship for 2015. Not so long ago, Neil Cole also managed to have a quick chat with Robin Larsson.
Semi-finals, which you are in, congratulations, but the weather is making decisions very difficult. What are you going for?
I think it will be wet tires. It's the rain are still in the air, so yeah, it's some gambling, but the tarmac is really slippery, I think, now, so it's a lot of gambling now in the first corner and everything.
Very impressive weekend from you so far. What's the secret and how will you progress to the final in this race?
It's about luck now, I think. I'm standing in the back row, so a good start now, and then I don't know what will happen, but we had a good pace in the rain yesterday with a big mistake in the second, but yeah, I'm hoping for a good start and then some luck with me.
And apart from luck, what do you have to do right now before you get in the car to get yourself in the zone?
Just think about just the start, I think, and get a good start, and then everything can happen. Thank you.
Well, the rain has come. You can see the drivers are on the grid. Let's have a look at the full lineup. Petter Solberg is on pole. Alongside him is Andreas Backerud. Matthias Ekström and PG Anderson on row 2. And on the back row, we've got Robin Larsson and Reinis Nittisch. So an all-Norwegian front row. These guys have already had contact earlier on in the weekend. Backerud broke Solberg's exhaust, and Solberg was very quick to remind us that that was the second time he'd broken it. He broke it last year as well, apparently. One of his guys went and had a chat with Backerud and said, come on, let's calm it down. We both want to make it through. Let's see what happens down at turn 1, first of all. Semi-final number 1, the first one of the year. Great start for both drivers on the front row. Robin Larsson coming through from the back row. Looks like he's going to make it through to third on the brakes down to turn 1. Solberg's got the inside line. Backerud, is he going to go to the Joker? He does. Backerud's gone to the Joker, and with him, I think, has gone... Is it Heikkinen? No,
Anderson at the inside there.
Oh, lovely job by Anderson. So Anderson makes a pass as well, and Larsson dumped to the back.
Looked like Larsson made the best start through the middle row. Looking to the...
Oh, the inside, fantastic. Backerud straight back past P.G. Anderson, holding each other up, but these two running like a train at the back.
Race time doesn't matter now, it's all about that top three, so Backerud struck back straight away, which is the best thing you can do. Anderson caught them napping a little bit, it looked like Larson was trying to go around the outside and get the cut back on Backerud. Anderson slid right up the inside, a bit of contact, but a great move, but Backerud struck back straight away. He knew he had to, he's got to be in that top three.
Now I'm fairly sure that I heard on the radio just as we were starting that Backerud's gone with wets on one side of the car and dries on the other, which is a WRC trick.
But it could be
wets on the left and dries on the right.
And it could be that they're trying to save some wets for the final, maybe, because they're limited to only eight wet tyres through the weekend. They do go off very quickly, certainly with this amount of tarmac on the circuit. It's now at this greasy stage. Earlier and yesterday it was really wet, and the wet tyres can really clear the water. It's now at this greasy stage. But look at Ekstrom and Nish going with Solberg.
Solberg last year, I think, was clearly ahead. He just seemed to have a little bit of an edge in the car. Over the winter, everybody's done his development. We saw yesterday Larson chased him up the straight. Ekstrom was able to keep with him up the straight. He doesn't quite have that advantage. If anything, I felt he had more of an advantage when it was dry in the wet. Everybody seemed pretty level at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, last year Ekstrom was wide there, kicked mud all up the camera. He's defending down into turn one. Nittish looking around the outside. Is he going to try and get the cut back on him? Yeah, Ekstrom did well there. You see there, he just hung off the throttle. You can just delay them there, can't get the cut back, and then you can drive it off the corner.
It was yesterday we saw Hansen came out of the last corner and got a great run down the straight, managed to outbrake someone. I really thought Nittish could do it there. When Ekstrom came so sideways, it was spectacular, but he's losing time.
Yeah, and that's Ekstrom's racing background come there. He knew he was vulnerable, so he defended, but equally defending, going in on a tighter line, you need to get the car stopped on the apex and stop someone trying to get the undercut on you.
So if this is your first time watching the World Rallycross Championship, remember, the top three go through and the bottom three go no further. The bottom three at the minute have all jokers, so Backerud, Anderson, Larson, who will be coming through your picture any minute now in the background, they've all jokered. Ahead of them you've got Solberg, Ekstrom and Nittish who haven't, and I think Ekstrom and Nittish are in real danger here, Andrew.
Yeah, I think Solberg's got enough. We've seen earlier on through the weekend, you need about 3 seconds. Solberg's got about 4 to Backerud, who's the first car, it's done the joker, but Ekstrom and Nittish, they're going to be close. I think Nittish is going to be vulnerable. I think Backerud will do Ekstrom, but obviously that will leave Ekstrom in third and through to the final.
So this is going to be really, really interesting to see how this one plays out. Semi-finals, remember, are 6 laps as well, not 4. So it's a longer race for these guys. They've got their spotters up here alongside our commentary position, pretty much from where you're looking now down to the left. They're looking out just over the start-finish line. There they are on the Iron Spotters Tower, and you can see them marking down. They've got the TV feed in front, they've got the timing screens behind them. They're going to have to be really careful, Andrew. What are you thinking?
I'm just thinking it's going to be close between P.G. Anderson and Ekstrom.
So that's Nittish. Nittish jokers now. So Nittish is jokered. He's the first one to jump.
I think the final spot in this, going through to the final, is going to come down to Ekstrom and P.G. Anderson. I think it'll be close, but I think Anderson might have enough. You've got to think these guys, you know, the teams have been tested as well this weekend. It's gone from wet to dry, now to a greasy condition. So the teams and the drivers have got to work so hard to get the setup right. And, you know, Solberg's obviously got a lot of experience through last year. The guys that have done last year, and with the same teams, they've got that continuity. They know how each other's work, and they know what sort of changes they need.
The best, one of Petter's massive advantages, well, we saw this morning in warm-up, when the conditions change, he adapts instantly. He doesn't need to mess around. He just is on it straight away. And look at the gap he's made. Petter's gone for the joker. Petter jokers up the inside now. Who's going to come through? It's Backerud and Anderson. And I think Petter's going to lose a position. He just comes out alongside. Couldn't be closer. So Petter just in front. Behind him, Backerud is right on his tail. Managed to avoid hitting him. And Anderson in third place.
That goes to show how much of an advantage at the minute it is going on lap 1 to the joker, because remember, Backerud and Anderson had a big battle, a bit of contact, which would have been slowing each other up, but they've still come through so close to Solberg, so it's a huge advantage going to the joker off the start and on lap 1.
So everybody's jokered. Solberg is in the lead. He's going to take the checkered flag. Oh, he's very sideways as he does so, but Solberg, Backerud and Anderson are going through. Ekstrom just misses out. Nittish and Larson too. Whew. An exciting, nothing less than we would expect for the start of the FIA World Rallycross Championship semi-final number 1. Very, very exciting indeed. Petter Solberg, Andreas Backerud and P.G. Anderson go through 6, 5 and 4 points respectively. Ekstrom, Nittish and Larson are out. Now Neil Cole is down, I believe, with our race winner, or possibly with the spotters now.
Well, we know that Petter's lost his voice, but he let his driving do the talking there. An incredible win.
Yeah, I think he works best as it is. He driving, and maybe I talked to him. Tried to say as little as possible, but yeah, he doesn't have any fever or anything, so that you know, he's still on it. So that's good.
And it was difficult because earlier joker seemed to be the tactic there, but he still just about came out in front.
Yeah, it was. You know, when you're in front there, you just have to push on, and you know, you have a clear road in front of you. So that was the strategy now, and then just push on, give him some split times in between, and to see where the one that was been in the Joker have been, and you know, yep. So that was the tactic now, and it worked.
Well done, thank you.
Probably a good job we were talking to the spotters as Petter's lost his voice. The umbrellas are up, it's raining even harder, but we're going to have a little look at the replays from semi-final number 1. Here we go, away from the line.
Look at Larson now, so he's gone through the middle row, and he's looking to the outside, and watch PG Anderson behind. He slides it to the inside, backward, gets a bit of a push from Larson. That opens up a gap, but then backward strike straight back, which was so important for him to do so.
PG there almost lent on the pair of them, but it was a clean pass. It was robust, but it was clean.
It was a bit of rubbing, it was nothing huge at all. It was a good rallycross move.
Andrew Jordan there, only a little bit of rubbing, nothing that we're not used to from touring cars. On board, look at the amount of inputs as the race got wetter and it got more slippery.
You've just got to read the road, get the handbrake, get the car turning. You can see he's quite smooth, but there, aggressive where he needs to be, using the left foot brake and the handbrake. This was the mud, much closer than we thought it was actually going to be. Backerud and Anderson showing that lap 1 Joker is the best route at the minute.
So it'd be interesting to see the tactics from semi-final number 2.
I'm not sure if Anderson had a problem with his left front there. As he crossed you can see he had a lot of understeer in the car. I'm not sure, it looked very low on the left front, whether it's a suspension problem, but obviously they don't have very long at all between the semi and the final to get things repaired.
We shall see whether or not he makes it through, and also what the tactics are then for Joker laps in semi-final number 2 and indeed in the final. In some ways it makes you wonder whether it's better to line up on the left-hand side of the grid at the front. If the Joker lap is the fastest place to go, it's still all about who gets down there first. Here's the lineup for semi-final number 2. Timmy Hansen and Johan Kristoffersson on the front row, Topi Heikkinen and Davy Genet on row 2, and Timo Timozianov and Manfred Stoll at the back. Timozianov hasn't managed to get his start right for ages, Andrew. We saw him, he fluffed 2 starts, heat 3 and heat 4, he fluffed the start. We're now back to wet conditions. What do you do with the RPM?
We obviously want to go as low as possible, but it's such a fine line to whether it bogs and nearly stalls. But Timmy also was struggling with his starts yesterday. He wasn't very happy in the wet. He was getting too much wheel spin. So obviously you need to get a good start. We all know that, but it's a very fine line. How much you want to risk it to be getting that perfect start, and it just on the point of bogging. But equally, you want a little bit of wheel spin to get the car moving. So it'll be interesting to see what Timmy and the Peugeot Hansen guys have done, because I know he wasn't happy with those yesterday.
Timozianov having a little relax before the final, but Neil Cole is in the spotters tower.
One question, wet or dry tyres?
Definitely wet.
You made the great call in the earlier heat.
But I think more of them did it the same now, so.
Good luck.
Kenneth keen to get away, the drivers are keen to get away as well. You can hear the rumble of the anti-lag already. 6 cars ready, only 3 cars go through semi-final number 2. Hansen and Kristoffersson away on the line, but it's not a good start for Hansen. He goes backwards, Heikkinen's alongside him already. Genet is wide and Stoll is all the way out on the outside. Who's going to go to the Joker first? Heikkinen's going straight down towards the Joker. Stoll's trying to come all the way around the outside. Contact there. It's Kristoffersson, and then was it Hansen or Genet?
Yeah, Hansen. Hansen got out of jail a little bit there. It wasn't a good start, but because the other guys went to the outside, he took up behind Kristoffersson, who's been very, very quick in both conditions this weekend.
So what's the tactic now with the other guys catching up with you? If you haven't taken the Joker, have you got to try and break away, or do you pop into the Joker lap now?
I think you've probably just got to go flat out. You've got clear air, you've got no dirt on your windscreen, which obviously is a factor in these conditions, so you've got to get your head down, get gone, not worry about what they're doing behind. Although it's hard, you know you need to be in the top 3. But Stoll was very brave as well. He tried going on the outside into the Joker lap.
I've actually been impressed with him, to be fair, but particularly with the car. You know, this was an unproven car for World RX Team Austria. Stoll, it was a bit of argy-bargy in Argentina. He was maybe a bit harsh with his driving, and again, yes, there was a bit of contact. Ekstrom wasn't very happy, but he's tidied it up today and it's gone well.
He's got speed, and it's a new car, so they're going to be improving through the season. But look how much wetter it's getting now. The tarmac looks like it's getting a lot more standing water. The rain looks like it's in very heavy and in for the rest of the day. But you can see
Hansen's being held up. I think Hansen's being held up by Heikkinen. He looks like he's really flying. He's right up behind Heikkinen. Heikkinen sideways through the Genet. Okay, so Genet is in second. So what's happened to Hansen?
Hansen's still, he's in second behind Kristoffersson.
Okay, my bad. Got completely confused with where they were. So down the straight, Timozianov is still in third. So then it's Genet then being held up by Heikkinen. So Genet, does he need to get past? He does really, because these 3 at the front are starting to make a gap.
Yeah, but this is all playing into the guys in front's hand, because as they battle, you can see Heikkinen just trying to slow it up there, get the exit off. This is helping the guys in front who have yet to take the Joker.
Okay, news coming in as well. PG Anderson has a broken drive shaft. You were right, Andrew Jordan, and he may not make it through to the final, in which case I think it will be the 4th place car that will go through, but we'll see very shortly indeed. This one, though, is all about who's going to make it through from here. They've not gained as much time as I thought they would, and as I say, I still think that in the background there, Genet's being held up by Häkkinen.
I think the last place is going to be between Timojanov and Davy Genet. I think the first two are pretty safe. Timmy's going to the Joker.
Häkkinen sideways in the background. Häkkinen sideways. Genet's gone up the inside of him in the back of your shot, and Genet has got past Häkkinen, so Genet has now broken free, but I'm not sure he's got enough time to get away. And Hansen, I think, has gone to the Joker. He has. Hansen has jokered and comes back out. Where is Hansen?
He's come out just in front of Timojanov.
Timojanov, fantastic. So Hansen in front of Timojanov, and Kristoffersen then is away in front.
So now the lead's going to be between Hansen and Kristoffersen, but I think the final position's going to be between Timojanov and Genet, and I think he's got enough.
So complicated semi-final with both the Peugeot Hansens in there, both going very well indeed. Timmy with that super tidy style. He joked about Timmy Hansen style, which was something we made up for him, I believe, and that wasn't Timmy Hansen style onto the straight in the background. He was sideways. Kristoffersen goes to the Joker lap now, so he doesn't want to give them any more time to catch up. Hansen goes down into turn 1, so Hansen and Kristoffersen for the lead, and Kristoffersen comes out in front. Great job by him. So it's Kristoffersen, Hansen, and now Genet, everybody's Joker. We could see both the Peugeot Hansens make it through. Down through the dip at the back of the circuit, up and over the dirt. Curbs to the left and then curbs to the right again.
Great move by Genet to get through, because that's what's got him into the final.
Yeah.
But we don't know, he was out of shots, we don't know if there was any contact or if Häkkinen just got it a little bit sideways.
Häkkinen ran too sideways. I just saw it from the corner of my side. Häkkinen was sideways. Our commentary position is where you're looking right now, and I saw Häkkinen come up all crossed up. Genet got alongside him, so great job. And Genet, he looked quicker than Häkkinen all the way through the final.
Yeah, for now, for these guys, Hansen looks like he's closing up on Kristoffersen, but it's just about hitting your markers. I'm sure the spotters will be on no mistakes now. You're into the final, which is where everyone wants to get, obviously, at the start of the weekend. So it'll just be about hitting your markers, not making any mistakes. Hansen will keep pushing though, because he'll want to keep that pressure on all the way through to the last corner.
So at the minute we're going to see a front row in the final, which is Solberg versus Kristoffersen, but he's still got a couple of corners to go. Hopefully no mistakes. The track is now really muddy again like it was this morning. It's not the deep mud, but it's a very wet and slippery track. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic final. Don't go anywhere. Kristoffersen's going to be there. So's Timmy Hansen. Who's going to make it through in third? It's Genet. So the Frenchman on his debut for the French manufacturer with a brilliant pass on Häkkinen in what was a frenetic semi-final. Both the Peugeot Hansens are through, so a great start for them with their brand new Peugeot Sport machines. There it is, confirmation. Kristoffersen in the first place, Hansen and then Genet, Häkkinen, Timojanov and Stoll are all out. Neil Cole is up on the Iron Spotters Tower, and he is with our winning drivers spotting team.
That was a superb drive by Johan.
Yeah, that was great for us. It was a good start, and he was very fast from the start line. And good credit to the guys who fixed the car for him, and he do good work behind the steering wheel. So now we're looking forward for the final.
And the conditions are just getting worse.
They are worse and worse, but it's been a little bit up and down all the weekend. So it's only to take it from where we are and then do the best of it. And I hope we can put everything together for the final.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Fantastic action from both the semi-finals. It's been wet pretty much all the way here. And there's another look. So Hansen with that dreadful start, Andrew, on the inside, left-hand side of your picture.
Still, it looked like it had too much wheel spin, but look at Stoll, very brave around the outside. Tries to clone Häkkinen down there, couldn't quite get it done. But Timmy will be a little bit frustrated with the start, but still he had very good pace through to the final in the new car. That was the slide with Häkkinen, a massive slide. You could hear him full power trying to get the car straightened up.
Genet then held up by Häkkinen, and really lucky Häkkinen made that mistake and he could get through, put himself into the third place seat and into the final. You can see the rain on your pictures there. I say it's been relentless, pouring down, but the fans are still here. They cannot wait to see the final. We got the RX Lights final before that. We are looking forward to it all. Stay with us. Here's the action from the Super 1600 final earlier on, and you can see the conditions were completely different. Yeah, it's not even the same country, is it? Look at it, dust in the background.
We've got some dust there, but very evenly matched off the start. Front wheel drive, obviously, so traction, is the limit. Front wheel drive, so lots of wheel spin and understeer. It's just about trying to limit that as much as possible. You can see it was actually starting to rut up quite a bit. You know, when it was drying, it was getting really quite bumpy through there. Much more of a single car line with the bumps and the ruts. But some great racing here.
Miss Julia, in the white, blue and red Fabio in the middle of your shot now. Last year that was bright orange. Oh, I didn't see that earlier on. He got a tap and dropped him down, but he was on absolute fly. He's managed to pick up Red Bull athlete status as well, so we might see more of him. This was a very, very firm move up the inside of Smetana. I'm impressed with Miss Julia. I think he's a very aggressive driver. He's spending a lot of time with Timozyanov. I keep wondering about a Russian super team.
There's no idea.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. But amongst these guys as well, Andrea Dubourg, younger brother of JB Dubourg, is in Supercars this weekend. He was in the Blue Clio, French Super 1600 champion. Again, this Miss Julia with another
stuck in, but that was a really good move. He teed it up nice and early, and the Polo tried to go around the outside, which was never going to happen. Miss Julia just ran him off through the dirt, and the line was his.
So the usual mix of Fabias, Twingos and Clios. The set promotion cars still amongst it. Yanis Baumanis, one of the drivers in this final. Baumanis in the 99 car there, you can see, has actually got a deal this year with Peugeot Hansen to do some supercar races as well in their junior team. Lucky to get that final done in the dry. There were the results. Christian Szabo took it from Andrea Dubourg, and Yanis Baumanis, then Miss Julia, Smetana and Steponkus.
First Super 1600 final of the year, and you're the winner. It's a great race.
Yeah, thank you. It was my second race overall. My last year, Italy was my first ever race, and now it was my second. So I'm very satisfied. Oh, it's incredible.
And tactically very good because you jokered early.
Yeah, it seems that it's much better to go immediately to joker and then just run and run. Thank you.
Great job by Szabo. That was actually second ever Super 1600 race, first one in Italy last year, so a real start to watch this year. Well, the Monster Energy girls are still smiling despite the rain. The umbrellas are up for them and for the crowd. But this one should be exciting. On the front row, last year's top two in the RX Lights Cup, Kevin Eriksson and Kevin Hansen. Always a good fight between them. Tobias Brink, Christoph Holovchik. And on the back, Simon Vegos Versen and Sandra Holtgren. Two Kevins down into turn one don't tend to go as a general rule, do they, Andrew Jordan?
It's a very fierce rivalry, isn't it? I think they're good friends off the track, but they push each other to the limit. I think they push each other on to dig deeper and try and outdo each other, but it's always a good battle with those two.
If you're on the outside, if you get away clean, would you shut the door and go into turn one, or is it just whoever's down there first? You know, in theory, either of them can go to the Joker lap first. It seems to me that it's the strongest tactic here is Joker lap on lap one. Is that the same in the rain? What changes it?
I think so. I think anyone sat on the outside, if I was Kevin Hansen, I would think that he's got in his head that he'll be going to the Joker lap one, unless he made by far the best start, could cover Kevin Eriksson off on the inside and then get the car stopped in time. But saying that, as we've seen, it's normally been better so far this weekend to go on lap one, so you'd think he'd go that.
Here we go then, the revs are up for our one-make RX Lights Cup. So race between the two Kevins down to the first corner. Behind them, Tobias Brink or Christoph Holovchik make it through. So very, very long hold for these guys in the final. And the revs are off, so they've stopped the start procedure. Now either someone has nudged one of the... Holovchik looks like he might be forward to me.
Yeah, they're going to his car straight away, aren't they?
So they're pushing him back. So if you look at Holovchik, you can see the white line. There's a sensor in there. It's literally a stick which sticks up out of the ground. 12 centimetres in front of the car, plus or minus 2 centimetres to be exact to the regulations. Tommy Heikkinen was pushing it with his toe at the driver's briefing and saying, yeah, I reckon I can get to 1.9 centimetres, he was saying, to take out the edge. Comedy character that he is, but unfortunately I think Holovchik there has made a mistake. It looks like the marshal has run to get the 2 times Joker board. There it is, being walked across to him. So the board is about to go up. 2 times Joker then for Christoph Holovchik. So that's going to do for him.
You would think that, I know there was a lot of crossover of information between Kevin and Timmy Hansen earlier, so you'd think information's been passed over on track conditions from Timmy in his semi-final through to Kevin for his final now. I know it was working the other way around when it was coming to tyre choices earlier, but you'd think that Timmy's passed on some info where they're standing water, the rain's getting worse all the time, so the puddles are going to be increasing. You would think that's been passed over.
Certainly, and these guys now running on Cooper tyres for this year as well, so the whole of the paddock is running on Cooper tyres this year, official tyre supplier to the FIA World Rallycross Championship. And they're definitely on wets, let's just put it that way. So Supercar Lights final up then. Will they get away this time? They do. It's a smooth start from everyone. Hansen's got great traction now with Ericsson. He's on the inside. Hansen is going to move across, try and put Ericsson off. They're side by side. Ericsson's later on the brakes than Hansen. Hansen looks like he's going to go to the inside. I'm astounded by that. And up behind them, Val's gone in. And into the gravel and over. Into the gravel and over. His Holmgren has gone off and the car is on the side down at turn 1. I think it'll only be yellow flags, but we'll see. Ericsson leading from Val with Brink behind, and then Hansen is down in 4th.
I'm amazed Hansen didn't go for the joke up there. He tried to cut back in behind behind Ericsson, and then Brink was there, so kind of boxed him out, and it all looked like he was trying to kick off on the exit. He's now dropped down to 4th.
I'm a bit surprised, John. I imagine there'll be yellows down at turn 1, so there should be yellows down at turn 1. But Ericsson and Val, I'm surprised that Kevin didn't just duck out of it. When he saw that Ericsson was inside him, surely it would have been better just to bail and go to the Joker straight away. But then if you've already braked, you've already lost the time.
Yeah, true. I think he's going to go to the Joker now, try and get some clear space. You can see how much dirt's on the front of his car, so visibility is going to be an issue, but he's still not. He's trying to tuck back under. I'm surprised he didn't go then.
Holovchik off, and there's a car off down there already. So Holovchik's off, everybody's safe. That's the most important thing. Holovchik, of course, having to do 2 Joker laps and dropped it in the wet. So the conditions have changed significantly. These guys are struggling to judge the brakes.
Holovchik's stuck in the gravel there, so we've got a car on its side. I think the marshals are out the way, but he's now stuck. So you'd think, I'm sure there's yellow flags anyway, so we needed a bit more caution there. The rain's getting worse, as we said, with more standing water.
Down to 4 cars.
Interesting what they're going to do now if they're red flag it, or just going to leave it with yellow flags there.
Well, at the minute, the race is still ongoing. We're looking at the marshal post down at the start-finish line, and to me, Ericsson's getting a break for it here. It looks to me like Val is holding up Brink and Hansen, so Brink is having a look up the inside of Val now. Where's Kevin? And that's it. Brink then jinks out to the outside. Hansen's gone up the inside of those two. Again, misjudge on the brakes. So lucky not to go off. He manages not to go off. It must be really slippery. Is they running water down there?
I would think so, yeah, but that's looking at the commentary box. There's actually no yellow flag down there, because I've seen the yellow flag. There's normally no overtaking, and Brink decided a late move to go to the Joker. Kevin tried to get underneath him, couldn't quite get it stopped. It looked so wet down there. He was on the handbrake to try and stop it going through the gravel, but Kevin Ericsson has been on top form this weekend. He's been quickest in the heats. He looks like he's in a class of his own at the minute. Obviously very used to these cars. It's the OMSE team that produced the cars, so he knows them very well, but he's put in a perfect performance so far this weekend.
Well, of course, Kevin Ericsson was the champ of RX Lights last year. The champion got a drive at RX Argentina. He ended up in the podium on his first time in a supercar. He's had to step back now to have another crack at lights, and he's doing the same again in Sweden. So he's doing the World's Lights Championship and then Sweden as well. But he must be itching to get into a supercar, and clearly he's got the talent for it.
Oh, absolutely, but I think he's doing another year in this. He's going to do some supercar races in the Swedish Championship, but he can just keep winning. That's all he can do as a young driver to try and impress. Obviously it's the family team with the Ford OMSE team, so there's only so long his dad can keep him out of a supercar if he keeps performing like this, isn't it?
Same, I think, for Kevin Hansen, who's at the back here. Not been so good. Kevin's up into 3rd place now, and Val's gone all the way back. So Val, who I thought was holding him up, has gone back. Oh, Joker, of course. Val took the Joker, so Kevin Ericsson still has to Joker. When's he going to go? He's gone now. So Kevin Ericsson's taken the Joker lap now, and look at that. Absolutely streets ahead.
Kevin Hansen was trying to get underneath Brink there. Has he got a bare exit? No, he's got it covered off. So I would think they'll be regretting not jokering either lap 1 or something.
Oh, up the inside. Hansen up the inside.
Great move.
Great pass. Has he got enough speed off to turn it in sideways? But he's on the inside, climbs the curbs onto the dirt section. That was a really, really tidy move.
We've not seen a huge amount of overtaking through that section this weekend. It's normally a 1-car line up over the curves, but Kevin did a very opportunistic move, slight bit of contact, but a good rallycross move.
Fantastic recovery for him. Brink up and over the curbs, hitting the rear from Val, so Brink has gone back 2 places in the space to 1 lap. We can hear someone shouting out in the spotters tower, so not very happy about something, or maybe over the moon. Maybe it's Kevin Hansen's team.
This can still be a good result for Kevin. As we said, he didn't go to the Joker when we probably thought he was going to, but still a second in the first race of the year. It's a long season. His aim is to be the champion, so it's good to get points when he can.
Certainly is. We've been hearing a lot of emotion for the lights drivers up here in the Iron Spotters Tower. You can hear when they're being shouted on. Some of them like to be shouted at on the radio to push, push, push. Some of the others prefer as little information as possible, but these are the drivers who you might well see in supercars in the very near future, and this one has put in a dominant performance. Kevin Eriksson has nobody anywhere near him as he takes the first RX Lights round of the year at Montalegre in Portugal. In second place, Kevin Hansen is going to cross the line safely. And in third, it's Val. So Val comes over the line, Brink in fourth, and of course 2 retirements. Great drive by both the Kevins there. I think a good recovery from Hansen after not a great start and maybe a choke lap decision at lap 1. Here's confirmation of the result. Eriksson from Hansen and Val. Brink in fourth, Holovchik and Holtgren unfortunately retired down at turn 1. And the recovery trucks are headed down there now. Let's have a look at the replays. Maybe we can figure out just what went wrong. So here's the first one. Really unlucky.
Yeah, almost a carbon copy of Markland. It's just it went a bit further in the gravel. But here you can see Holovchik carries a load of speed in, probably aquaplanes on the brakes, but very lucky that the marshal's right the way and it didn't collect anyone.
So Holovchik, of course, with that penalty for the jump start, 2 jokers, had to do 2 and got one of them wrong. Umbrellas are still up. It's still raining.
On that final shot of the cars coming through across the line, you could really see how heavy the rain is now.
Neil Cole is down at the finish area, and he's managed to catch up with the RX Lights race winner, Kevin Eriksson.
Dramatic race, dramatic conditions, but you seem to just drive your own race there.
Yeah, I took the start and I felt, now I got it when I got clear out to the first corner. I got a few bumps, but I was a bit afraid that someone would sneak in the inside, but it's okay now, and good day, good race with maximum points. I couldn't be happier.
What a great start to your year, your campaign also.
Yeah, really good. Gratis. That's it. Yeah, really good. One step closer to, one race at a time, and now I look forward to England.
Thank you very much.
Great drive by Kevin. Let's have a look at the championship standings for the RX Lights Cup. After round 1, Kevin Eriksson from Kevin Hansen, Tobias Brink in third, then it's Holovchik, Eriksson, Holtgren, Vego Sversen and Val. Don't forget that is the qualifying points and the points for the finals as well. Supercar final then coming up. All down in the pre-grid area. Nobody seems to have any tyres down there, Andrew. I imagine that's because they're all already on wets, although maybe someone again will go for the split tyre strategy on either side.
I would think now with how much this is coming down, they'll all be on wets all round, but it's whether Backerud, if it was correct that he'd split his tyres side to side, it's whether now he's got a fresher pair to put on the left hand side of the car. But you've got to think, when these guys came to the dummy grid for the semi-finals, they had come off a dry race.
That's PG, so that just sorry to interrupt, that's PG.
So he's in the dummy grid area, so he's got his car sorted.
Yeah, looks like they've got the drive shaft fixed. If he doesn't make it through, it's Matthias Ekström who is the reserve to come into the final, so it looks like they fixed it. Even if they haven't fixed it, to be honest, you'd go off the line with 3 shafts surely and take the points for the final rather than retire. If you can get the car to the grid, okay, if you come last, it doesn't really matter. It's 1 point for last in the final or 0 if you don't start it.
Yeah, it's still good points. You can see Ekström in the background, waiting and probably hoping, but Petter getting ready. Is he the favourite? I don't know. I think in these conditions it's probably closer, as you said earlier, probably a bit closer than it had been in the dry. This car's obviously going to be set up as a bit of a compromise. They're coming off a dry race. It was dry when they got to the dummy grid. Thumbs up from Backerud. He'll be looking forward to it, and I'm sure there'll be some more close first corner action with him and Petter as we've seen already this weekend.
Absolutely filthy weather here, I'm afraid. There you go, the camera lens tells you all you need to know.
I think Kristoffersson's the one to beat in this, if I'm honest.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's been getting very good starts all weekend, wet and dry, and he's been very quick one of the pace setters. He was quickest in wet practice this morning, which we saw how wet it really was. It was even wetter than this. It was
deep mud this morning, wasn't it? They'd regraded the track overnight. There was deep mud, and Solberg was impressive, but, you know,
he was quick. He was nearly half a second quicker than anyone, and him and Solberg were out in the same run. Yes, you don't know what people are doing. Some people might be scrubbing tyres and stuff, but I think he's the one to beat in this one.
Kristoffersen yet to take a World Championship win. Petter Solberg took 5 last year, destroyed everyone really. The only other driver to take 2 victories last year was Bakkerud. You know, if you're Kristoffersen and you know you've got to beat a guy who's got at the minute the best record in the World Championship, does that make you nervous, or do you just go, do you know what, I don't care?
I don't think he'll care who's alongside him. You know, he's there to beat everyone in the final. He's there. He obviously wants to win the World Championship. So whether it's a world champion or a 2-time world champion alongside him, it won't make any difference to his approach.
Well, Neil Cole, I think we can see, has managed to stick his head into the side of somebody's door. It looks like it's going to be Kristoffersen.
Johan, you had a drive shaft problem. How are you doing now? Ready for the final?
Let's see. I will do the start first, and from there I will see what happens. But I will just try to stay clean and don't mess up and end up in the barrier. I just want to take it easy, and we'll see where we end up.
Good luck. Thank you.
Well, he's a good lad for giving an interview that close to the start.
He doesn't sound too nervous, does he?
No, he doesn't really, does he? I mean, he's absolutely as cool as a cucumber. We'll take it easy and see what happens.
I think by that, he's, you know, in his head, it's a long season. You need to get points. Obviously, you want to win races. All of these guys want to win races, but they want to win the championship more. So he knows in these sort of conditions, the risk's very high.
This is interesting too. So now we're looking at the drivers. Did Petter just knock that from second to first there, or has he knocked it into neutral?
I'm not sure how that gearbox works, which way they go, but I could see he was adjusting his start RPM.
Yes, and they're all now, this is their one chance, so, you know, on a pre-grid, pre-start check to see whether or not they've got too much RPM.
I have heard of people in the wet starting in second gear before, so it's, you know, with this sort of horsepower in first gear, you've got to be very low on the revs not to get too much wheel spin. So is it a better option to start in second gear? I know people have done it before. You don't have to be as low on the revs then, which is such a fine line.
Well, let's have a look at how they line up for the first final of the year. Petter Solberg is on pole position. Can he repeat the round 1 win from last year? Johan Kristoffersen in second. On row 2, we've got Timmy Hansen alongside Andreas Bakkerud. Both those guys took a win last year. PG Anderson, great debut for him, and Davy Genet on his debut for Peugeot Hansen as well. You can see the rain bouncing off the tarmac. That's how wet it is. Petter's team up to him on the grid when he's already taken his place on the line. So what are they doing? Petter in the car, wide-eyed. Looks ready to go. He's talking on the radio. Hansen as well. Can Hansen get the start RPM right this time? They're calling him forward, and he will go forward as close to that lever as he can to make sure he gets the best start possible. Bakkerud alongside him. So 3 guys on the front 2 rows who took wins last year. Solberg with 5, Hansen with a win in Italy, Bakkerud with a win in the UK and another one in Turkey. And 3 on the grid who haven't taken a World Championship win yet. Anderson, Genet and Kristoffersen. I'm feeling quite nervous for the first one of the season.
Good job by Anderson on his first, proper weekend in a full-time drive. I think he's had good pace in both conditions, but also raced very well.
So Neil Cole is up in the spotters tower, and he is with Susan Hansen.
So 2 cars in the final, the first event of the season. That's a pretty good start to the season.
Yes, isn't it? It's compared to last year where we had none in the final. We have both cars in the finals. We're so much looking forward to this. Crossing our fingers as this can be something very spectacular as the rain is pouring down on the final.
Good luck, thank you.
Well, I think Susan managed to hide her nerves well. Who's nervous inside the car? You can see the exhaust smoke popping and banging as the throttle's cut. Everyone away from the line. Kristoffersen bogs, and then Hansen looked like he bogged as well. Anderson with a great start, but Genet probably with the best start of everybody down the outside. Genet's managed to get around Bakkerud. Genet surely to the Joker lap now. Kristoffersen's had to go. Solberg and Hansen have gone to the standard lap. Genet trying to come around the outside of Kristoffersen. Anderson is up the inside of him, and alongside him now Bakkerud. Is he going to lose out to Bakkerud as well? Oh, Genet pushes wide. Bakkerud slots in on the back of the train, and so Genet down into 6th, but in the lead is Solberg from Hansen.
Bakkerud at the inside then, great move, the same place he did in the semi-final, up the inside, all over the curbs, a slight brush, but Genet, what a start. He got mugged off a little bit at the first corner, unfortunately for him. He made the best start. Backrud just ran wide. In the background, then you can see Backrud ran wide. Yeah, Anderson's underneath him again.
So Anderson back in front of Backrud.
Just look at the mud, look at the visibility.
Yeah, conditions have just changed completely. Solberg in the lead with Hansen behind, but they are already all over, and Kristoffersson is straight onto the back of him, and he's already joking. So Kristoffersson looking really, really strong, and neither of them have gone to the joker. So the more this pack catches up, the more Supercharger award goes to Kristoffersson. He's the first man down to turn 1.
That's impressive. So we were talking about Anderson on the dummy grid. You know, he's a rally background. He hasn't got a racing background. But then straight away, Backrud does him. He does him back straight away. I don't know if it was a mistake from Backrud or if it was just a move from Anderson. But Hansen's going with Solberg, really pushing him. He's going to know this
a bit quicker.
He's going to try and get the end of the cut. He's going to try and drive it out well, but it's only single car line through it. But look at the dirt being kicked up onto Hansen's windscreen. But Kristoffersson's in the pound seat here. He's got to he can hold station almost, just hit his markers, neat and tidy. He knows he'll have enough on them.
So the gap back from Kristoffersson back to Anderson is significant. So and Hansen, that's what I was going to say. Hansen's gone now, and Hansen's a bit late on the brakes. He's got it crossed up. Look at the water down in the joke lap. It's absolutely all over the road. Hansen's trying to come out. Oh, it's so close between them. Hansen in front of Anderson. Great move by the Hansen team to send him there.
Yeah, that's the spotter's call there. Hansen and Kristoffersson were over half a second quicker than Solberg, so they could see Hansen was getting held up by Solberg. They needed to get him into clear air because they saw Anderson was catching. So great call by the Peugeot Hansen team.
Fantastic look from them. So Kristoffersson now then is chasing down Solberg. Up the inside. Anderson's gone up the inside of Hansen. Pushes Hansen wide. Did Hansen run wide? Hansen straight over the gravel trap. You can't tell the difference between the gravel trap and the track. It's so dirty and muddy. Anderson runs wide coming onto the straight. Hansen's going to be right up behind him. Hansen will run now, and Anderson down towards turn 1.
Hansen's got a problem. You can hear it wheel spinning, so I wonder if another drive shaft's gone who's got a suspension program.
Hansen is back past Anderson at the end of the straight. Great job by him. Solberg's gone to the joker lap, and Kristoffersson has taken the lead. So Kristoffersson is in the lead, and he's going backwards. So Anderson is going backwards in your pictures. You're looking then at Hansen and Genet out in front of them, Solberg, but at the lead, Kristoffersson.
Yeah, I can see his dad up here in the spotter's tower. I'm sure he'll be a little bit nervous. He knows anything can happen, certainly in these conditions. But I wonder if Anderson broke some suspension with some contact with Hansen. We couldn't quite see the start of the move.
Yeah, up the inside in the background where you are now. And Hansen's just climbed the curves in the background, so he could stand to lose out here to his teammate Genet. Kristoffersson down the straight. Solberg sideways in his typical style onto the straight. Who's going to come out next? We won't know which one of the Peugeots it is until they cross the line. Hansen just in front of Genet. Genet, though, looking like he's going to have a look up the inside. He is having a look up the inside. Don't fire your teammate off. Great job by those two. So driving sensibly, and a brilliant performance to see both these cars in the final, let's not forget.
Absolutely, this is a new car. You see Hansen aquaplaning there. The good thing for Hansen is he'll know it's his teammate behind. So as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, he keeps it neat and tidy. There's not going to be a mad lunge coming from Davy Genet. But Kristoffersson, by far the quickest in this race at the minute. He just needs to keep it neat and tidy. He's got one more lap to go before his first World Rallycross event win.
Absolutely brilliant drive by him so far. He's just got to hold it together. I bet his heart rate is significantly higher now than it was just 5 minutes ago. Solberg's going to try and chase him down. The world champion is in second place. A great performance by him. Hansen and Genet in third and fourth. Backrud, it seems to be off the back of the pace. He's coming past our competition now in the back of your picture on the right-hand side. Doesn't seem to have a problem, but it's not on the pace.
He had a couple of bits of contact, didn't he, with Anderson on the first lap, so whether he's bent some suspension or he's got some damage like that. But this is still pretty close between the two Peugeot Hansen guys. Hansen just needs to keep it nice and neat and tidy. Anderson there with some, his left rear wheels hanging off. So.
Just a couple of corners to go. Anderson nearly gets lapped, but this is going to be a fantastic debut win for Johan Kristoffersson. Takes round 1 of the World Rallycross Championship in Portugal. A brilliant drive by him. Solberg finishes in second. Coming up to the line, we've got the two Peugeot Hansens. It's going to be Timmy Hansen who's going to make it across the line in third, and Genet in fourth. What a wonderful drive by Kristoffersson. A dark horse for the World Championship. Brilliant drive. Team are over the moon. Not surprising, really. It was dominant, Andrew.
He was quick, but he was quick on every lap. He was very consistent, and in those sort of conditions, the risk of making a mistake is huge.
Well, great drive by Kristoffersson. The spotter's tail's gone nuts. Neil Cole is up here with the winning team right now.
We can see how much that means to you. And also, how impressed the rest of the paddock are. New team on the grid and win the first race of the year.
Yeah, it's a very great start for us and for Volkswagen and Bauhaus, so that's really what we're looking to when we went into the series. But I'm a little bit excited because it was a tight race and it was tough for us, but for sure it's good to start the series with the victory, and that gives us more energy for the future, and also big credit to the guys who prepared the car so well for Johan.
Also, Johan in the car drove a pretty spectacular race too.
Yeah, he done it very well. He did it absolutely excellent, and I'm so proud of him and over the whole team.
Thank you. Well done.
Let's have a look at the results then for the first round of the FIA World Rallycross Championship 2015. Johan Kristoffersson with his debut win in the World Championship for VW Team Sweden. Solberg, the world champion, is in second. Timmy Hansen is in third. The sister Peugeot 208 of David Genet is in fourth. Then we have Andreas Backer at fifth and PG Anderson with a DNF. Replays from the final coming up, and Andrew Jordan can tell us exactly what happened and how his tip for the win managed to take such a fantastic result.
That's the merge off the Joker with one of the Peugeots and Anderson. But you can just see how muddy it is. That was Anderson at the inside. I don't know if there was contact on the way in. Timmy straightened the car up all over the dirt. Just look how muddy it is. It's light drive on ice. The guy's just small inputs smoothly on the power. We've got nearly 600 horsepower trying to get down, but great job by Kristoffersson for his first win.
Absolutely fantastic. Great to see the other teams in the paddock as well. The first people to congratulate them were Susan Hansen and Andreas Eriksson, of course, team principals. Oh dear, not such a good result for the other VW Polo. Unfortunately, Anderson is stranded on the track. I'm sure they'll send someone out and get him picked up. Spectators are making their way out of the grandstand. It's a sea of umbrellas, and they'll be walking through a sea of mud, unfortunately. The weather up here, Andrew, is, I mean, I've not been to a track, I don't think, where it changes quite so quickly. Maybe Knock Hill in the UK is fairly similar, but here you can see it coming up the valley, and we saw this today. On board now.
That's with Petter, isn't it? So
I think
look
it is,
how wet it is. You can see the car moving all the way as he grabs the gears. Kristoffersson on his outside, you'll see him, he goes there, hits his marker. Petter gets it stopped, gets the car turned on the handbrake. Nice clean exit. He's in the lead obviously at this point. He doesn't know what's going on behind him. Eyes forward, a little bit of handbrake.
Lap 1 Joker as well though. Lap 1 Joker.
It's worked all weekend, hasn't it? It's been the quickest all weekend. And I think Kristoffersson sat on the grid. They'll have planned well before that they were going to Joker lap 1 because they'll have seen that's worked all weekend. Just look how slippy is. You can hear the wheel spin, grabs another gear, gets it stopped. The puddle's there, you've got to get it. Well, I wonder if that was a bit of an issue for Petter because
steamed up screen.
Pretty fogged up on the inside, isn't it?
That's very bad indeed. So that must be from later in the race. So the blower still seems to be making a small gap for him to see, but not much at all. So the champion may be slightly hamstrung by that, and also Petter not feeling too well this weekend. But that, I don't think he would have beaten Kristoffersson. I think that was a great performance.
Yeah, I think Petter had more of an edge over the others when it actually turned dry. In the wet, I think Kristoffersson's been probably the pace setter. It was very consistent. I love watching drivers trying to explain what things, their body language and the body movements. But how excited he must be. It's the family team. His dad's a very well-known rallycross driver. It's a great result for him. You can see
there you go.
Dad on the left celebrating.
Fantastic. We can hear that up here. Our commentary position is literally 6 feet from where they are, and it's always nice to be up and feel the emotion of the teams who work so hard to get these cars on the grid. And Dad was very proud, but very quiet about it. Oh yeah, he's done a brilliant job. Very understated, but wonderful. Timmy Hansen congratulating him, and PG Anderson too. Waiting to get them up onto the podium. There's Neil Cole. Pit reporter down with Johan now. Got to stand in the rain for a minute, I'm afraid. Last year he'd been basking in the sunshine. What's he doing now? Is that more explanations, Andrew?
There's a big slide he was trying to explain.
Definitely. Here we go. So look in the background. Hansen.
Yeah, there was some contact. Whether Anderson got a good run out the previous corner, but there was some contact. Yeah, you can see Anderson's left rear wheel there as he's going over the bumps, moving around. So that's obviously broken a toe or something. Yeah.
You'd have to say. I mean, okay, maybe a little bit robust, but we're coming from a non-racing driver background. Good to see Anderson go. I'm going to have this.
Absolutely, it's just a fine line. Isn't it? And in those conditions, you can tee up a move, and because it's so slippy in that mud, it can just take you a bit further, a bit harder into someone than you're expecting.
Great performance by Davy Genet as well. Fantastic to see both the Peugeot Hansons in the final. Last year, neither of them were here, as Susan said. So, great stuff. Peugeot will be pleased. Crowd heading down towards the podium. Down at the podium now is Neil Cole with our winner, Johan Kristoffersen.
Johan, considering the quality and the experience in that final, you have impressed everyone with your first win here at the first of the season in Portugal.
Thank you, first of all. And yeah, it was a great final. We had fantastic starts. And I was just on the edge to go up one click more on the revs in the start, but I said, okay, I take a chance. And I stalled the engine almost, but I kick on the clutch and I get quite similar start. And then from there, I mean, the car been working fantastic whole weekend. And I was struggling a little bit when it was dry, but on the wet, we've always been quick. So big thanks to Volkswagen Sweden. Fantastic job. And this victory is for my guys. They've been working so hard this winter. So I'm so happy now.
Give us an idea just how slippery it is out there, especially on the Joker lap on the tarmac.
It's unbelievable. Like you say, on the Joker, it's fantastic slippery. But also in the long right-hander on the gravel, both Petter and Timmy was very wide. And I just tried to stay on the inside, but then you cannot see anything on the side windows. So you just have to pull the handbrake and go on the side and hope for the corner to come when you want to have it. And then it's just to survive for 6 laps. And I did it the best, so I'm so happy.
Thanks, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'd be very happy to see more winners' interviews with Kristoffersen. He's very entertaining, isn't it? Fantastic slippery, and hope the corner comes when you want it to. Let's have a look at the standings after round 1. Johan Kristoffersen on equal points with Petter Solberg. Timmy Hansen is in third, Bakkerud, Genet, PG Anderson, Matthias Ekström and Topi Heikkinen rounding out the top 8. Neil Cole is still down at the finish area, and he is with our second and third place drivers.
So I don't think anybody expected these conditions. Give us an idea of how tough that final was.
This morning on the warm-up, it was like they had no grip, and we came out in the final. Semi-final was quite good grip, but now it was like soap. It was absolutely no grip, and in the first lap when I followed Petter, I saw him drifting wide, and I saw the gap, but I was just as wide myself, so I couldn't get into it. And I followed him, I took the Joker, I had problems with my vision, and I came out in a solid third, just close to someone, I think. And after that, I lost my power steering, so my arms are so tired now. That's why I lost so much. But big congrats to Petter and Johan and to my team. It's a fantastic car. It's brand new, and we're already here.
Well, I'll let you rest your arms. Petter, I know you're not feeling great. In a few words, can you describe this first final of the year?
It's great, you know, to win the championship again. You need to be very consistent, and it worked very well, and I'm very happy with second. My center locked and I lost the gear lever, so I'm very happy with second. I thought I should lose it, but I'm happy.
And finally, one more question to you, Timmy. What's the plan for the rest of the year? It's a better start than last year.
Sorry. It's by far a better start. But we have a lot of things to work on still. The car has fantastic potential, but we're already quick.
Thank you.
Timmy Hansen, very, very pleased indeed. Petter Solberg not feeling emotional about the result. He's just lost his voice. It sounded like his voice was breaking with emotion, like when he won the World Championship. Well, that's the standings again. Johan Kristoffersen, equal with Petter Solberg, and Timmy Hansen in third. Here's from 9th down to 16th. So Timers Janov, Larsen, Nitish and Stoll. You can see we've got real depth of quality in the field this year. Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, Barbosa, Doran and Linnerud. Not such a great weekend for them, but still getting some championship points on the board. Well, the fans are off despite the weather. It's been an absolutely brilliant weekend of racing action here in Portugal. My thanks to Andrew Jordan alongside me. We've seen a lot of that this weekend. That was Doran sliding off into the gravel and then unfortunately retiring from the race as well. Extra managed to take that one. The track, the conditions have changed continuously. There's a shadow there. That's been rare all weekend, I can promise you. The rain has absolutely poured down. We've seen everything from deep mud to dry tarmac. It was dry tarmac for the lights cars earlier on in their semi-finals. Great battles throughout there with youngsters and older drivers as well taking up the challenge now. Petter Solberg, the World Rallycross champion, carrying the number 1 on his car when he goes away from here. Equal on points with Kristoffersson for having been beaten to the checkered flag. Still a good performance. Not feeling too well, what can he bring? And he was certainly very, very good in the dry. The rain was unbelievable. The umbrellas only parted to see the action, and we had non-stop action. That was Anderson, showing that rally drivers can overtake as well. Going up the inside, it was a brilliant job. Nitish sideways into the door of Ekström, firing the mud up onto the camera lens as well. On board with Petter. Wonderful, wonderful car control. But we've seen as well that Smooth can be just as quick in the wet and muddy conditions. Hansen has been quicker several times this weekend. Kristoffersson with that great start. There's Timosyanov. Had a few problems in qualifying, but good to see the Russian still on the pace. That was Heikkinen when he went sideways and got past on the way down to turn 1. This man was pretty much unstoppable. You can see from the lack of dirt on the front of the car that it was a brilliant drive up to that point. A roll in the RX Lights final. Hansen making some great passes in the RX Lights final to get himself up into second place in the end after not a brilliant start to his final race. The final was all action as always. Both the Peugeot Hansens were in there. That was Petter Solberg's view. If he'd had a slightly better view, then he would have been able to see up ahead of him that it was Kristoffersson who was making a break for it. It was a wonderful debut win in the World Championship for Johan Kristoffersson and Team VW Sweden. We will be back next weekend from Hockenheim in Germany alongside the DTM. We'll see you then.